blunt, though the lion's paws, and make the earth devour her own sweet brood. Pluck the keen teeth from the fierce tiger's jaws, and burn the long-lived phoenix in her own blood. Sonnet 19, William Shakespeare. Welcome, poets and family. You know what it is. Finally, Thursday night has come back. Pull up a Zoom box, grab a microphone, and get comfortable. It's about to go down. Good evening and welcome to the Online Open Mic presented by the legendary, I said the legendary, Nuyorican Poets Cafe. I am your host. My name is Elemen2al. Happy Thursday. This is the jump off, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. We've been waiting all week for this. Here we are, baby, with another one. So let's keep it going. As we do every week, and we've been doing this and doing this and doing this well every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. If you're watching on one of these streams, and we truly appreciate you, and you would like to jump in and join the greatest community in the world, the number's on your screen, 977-539-856. Different world inside of Zoom, folks. Trust and believe. Jump in, see what this life is really about. Trust me, it's a different world. We do this and have been doing this week after week thanks to some dedicated folks who pay these bills. All right, so we would like to thank the New York State Department of Cultural Affairs and the Howard Gilman Foundation for hosting our free online events. You can add your energy to the mix with a tax-deductible donation by going to nuyorican.org/contribute. Trust and believe, every single dollar counts, and we are very appreciative for them. Make sure you are plugging in with the dopest tech in the Zoomverse, the one and only Ron Mark Thompson, a.k.a. RMT. If you're not down with RMT by now, damn it, you should be, because that cat's dope. Truly appreciate you, Ron. This is where you can find me, Elemen2al.com. Check out the T, put in the number 2, Elemen2al.com. So many things going on, folks. Make sure you're plugging in. Tonight's theme: timing is everything. Woo! Tell me I'm wrong. I'm hoping that somebody can tell me I'm wrong this evening with their work. Timing is everything. Pendulum swings, right? Sometimes a pendulum can feel like a guillotine, depending on which direction it's swinging. So that's what we're going to be looking at this evening. If your artwork is not on theme, that is still totally cool, but we are still looking forward to all of the artistry that you have to share with us this evening. All right. Next week's theme: program language. Woo-hoo. coding the future. They are doing their best to code the future in circuits, right? Trying to code out, if you will, the human element, right? So what does that mean to you? What does program language? How are they coding the future? How are we going to code the future to make sure that the human element stays a part of this equation? So that's what we're going to be looking at next week. So bring all of your artistry, bring all of your creative energy. And the last one on that theme, Goodfellas, the real ones. And listen, that's what's coming up for a week after next. All right. So stay plugged in. All right. You will see a post from me very soon about all of the other upcoming themes. Let's get to the rules so we can get to the artistry this evening. Artists, turn your cameras on. We are trying to simulate a live open mic as much as possible. And listen, we want to see all of that beautiful exuberance. All right. We want to see all of that energy that just comes out of your pores when you're plugging into your passion. All right. So turn your cameras on. As you're getting ready to rip, have your artwork ready. All right. If you're playing music, which is totally cool, make sure it's original. Make sure your original sound from musicians is plugged in, right? We don't want the agents of the interweb interfering with our streams in any way. So make sure your music is original and you have on original sound. Also, make sure you are changing your Zoom name to coincide with how you want people to connect with you. We are all about building community. So before or after you decide to get down, put your information into the chat so we can continue to build the greatest community in the world. All right, bro. Artists, you got 3 minutes to rock. All right, you got a 30-second intro to let the world know where they can find you and how they can connect with what you do. All right, then you got 3 minutes to rock. All right, we are gonna have a cipher this evening. All right. So for the folks who want to rock with the cipher, right, realize that that it's a full list this evening, and it's probably going to be some folks rocking on the good luck round. So keep your timing tight so we can actually get down in the good luck round and in the cipher this evening. All right. We have reached night 9:30 for the babies, folks. All right. Serious business. All right. The founders of our cafe were major proponents on the freedom of speech, and we will make sure it maintains in the vein of everything. I mean, everything we do. Therefore, there is no censorship. And I am so serious about that. There is no censorship other than any hate speech or any ism that people may use to manipulate, which will not, I said not, be tolerated. There is no censorship. This is a living, breathing trigger warning. All right. To quote the God, we did not come here to tap dance, baby. And tonight we are going to show you that it is exactly that. All right. This is a true call and response space. After these artists get up here and they rip open a part of everything in their life and they share it with us, you'll see this pop up on your screen. This is when you get a chance to share all of that energy, all of that exuberance with the world. Don't worry about the noise, y'all. Do y'all know what tonight is? Do you know what's starting tonight? It's the rowdiest night of the week anyway. All across from sea to shining sea, it's the rowdiest night of the week. I'm telling you. So don't worry about the noise, y'all. All of that energy will be returned to you in the exuberance and in the energy of every single performer this evening. Trust and believe. The guaranteed list tonight is closed. All right, signups begin 24 hours before the show, which would be Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I apologize if anyone has had any issues trying to sign up, right, in recent weeks. Working on that issue, all right? But I promise you, we will make sure we make room for the folks who are coming down and willing and ready to get down with us, all right? So to sign up, you go to Nuyorican.org, click on full events calendar. You click on a Thursday that you want to get down on, and you need the artist RSVP ticket. It's the only way you're getting on the guaranteed list. And again, 24 hours before the show. If you're in the tri-state area, make sure you're plugging in with the Nuyorican Bowery Slam. I'm telling you, that stage is on fire. It's going down in that space. I'm telling you. Hosted by J. Rose and Luna Rosa. Also at the Lower East Side Center, hosted by Soul Preem. It's going down. At La Sala de Pepe, also coming up very soon. Listen, also, Final Fridays, shout out Tony McPherson. It is going down so many different ways. Tonight's list. Let's get to all of these incredible artists. right? So many voices that we need to hear. The world is turning in so many different directions, even though we're still on the 23.5-degree axis. It's spinning in so many different directions. And all of these artists this evening are going to help us put it together and put it into place. There's all my rowdy friends here on Thursday night. What's good, good people? It is great to see you. As always, some of the familiar faces. I see the daughter of Krypton in the building, Garland Thompson. Marianne Teft is here. Educators in the building. Bonnie Soloway is here. Dr. Z Page, I'm sure, has got something for us. I'm telling you. Get your defibrillator ready, because she's going to get you. For real. I see the God Baba and Goma's in the building. Lantern Carrier is here. The Jedi Master's in the building. And listen, folks, I think we have been delighted with another class of amazing young artists who are ready to get down. Shout out JMU in the building. Great to see all of you. Shout it out where y'all from. You know what I mean? Shout out your professor. Shout out your class. All of it. Thank all of y'all for coming through. Let's get this. Let's get it jumped off, folks. And starting us off this evening, right? And I love when this cat comes through because his energy is unmatched. I promise you this, right? And anytime that he comes through and he shares with us, he always has a message, man. And I'm telling you, it's one that I miss. I love hearing this cat. Love when he opens the show. The one and only Alexander Goldberg in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you, Goldberg. Always great to see you. Come on, man. Take it away.
Find me at Gorbensky on Instagram. It's always nice to perform here. I'm glad I'm opening up the show. So the poem that I'm performing tonight is called Freedom is Written in Blood. I had a dream last night that Moscow has been taken. The blue and yellow flag is waving over Kremlin. The president is calling. She said she supported us in our mission. That is what's the most important. We celebrate on Red Square. People are enjoying this perfect moment. There is nothing that's annoying. But then I woke up and realized it's only fiction. The president can't do this much. There are restrictions. The pendulum may swing in any of directions. It is the time to choose. It's time for the election. What will the president do after taking office? There are so many doubts. There are so many worries. But I am confident that people have the wisdom. They'll always advocate for those who love the freedom. But what is freedom? It's our right. It is our essence. It doesn't come without the sweat, blood, and our efforts. The history is written with the sweat and tears. It's also written with our gains and with our wins. We are unbreakable. Our spirit can't be shaken. We are born free. Therefore, our freedom can't be taken. We're standing up for good, for light, against the darkness. We fight for freedom, for democracy, and justice. Timing is everything. Send weapons to our people. So pendulum would never swing towards the evil. Thank you.
You see, I'm telling you, this is just what this dude does. Unmute yourself, give it up for the Goldberg.
Nice way to start. Thanks for that blast off, Alex. It's always great to hear your voice here.
Yes, thank you, Paul.
Absolutely. You know, there's just something about when you get excited to write, right? Well, when a poet goes all in and they feel comfortable and they want to write something, you end up with something like that, right? And I appreciate the truth that you always pack into your poems, Goldberg, always, right? He said he had a dream that Moscow was taken, right? But the president, you know, the presidency has restrictions, no doubt about that, right? And thankfully there are. It's the time to choose. No doubt people have the wisdom. Sometimes government should listen. Freedom is our right, is our essence, without a doubt. Together we are unbreakable. our freedom can't be taken. It's absolutely right, sir, unless we as a people give it away, because we are divided and therefore able to be picked off, and that's not okay. I appreciate you, sir, for always injecting that emotion into what you do. It's something very powerful and felt. Thank you. Appreciate you for setting us off this evening and doing what you do, sir. Truly, truly appreciate you. All right, Starship's underway, folks. Let's keep it going. Coming up next, your friendly neighborhood rhyme master is coming up next. His smile is infectious, and he's always got a rhyme on deck. I'm telling you. And we always just love hearing from this cat, man. The one and only Eddie Foreman in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you, Eddie. It is always great to see you. Come on, man. Take it away.
Thank you, my bro, like no others. And let's give it to the toast that we love the most, that deserves a toast. Woo! That never ever boasts. But my name is Ed Potato for the Fantastic. Please, in time, you could join my rhyme, thoughtful, sublime. I got one poem, so I'll take too much time. This is called Sandy Hourglass. Time won't give me time, and time makes lovers feel like they got something real. But you and me, we know we got nothing but time. But time won't give me time. Ooh, won't give me time. Oh, the sands of time, you're such a scary thing. Stealing our prime is a sneaky crime. Owner's nostalgic tattoos sing. Oh, time, please don't turn the page. I don't want change. No more new shade for this decade. No new stage in this complex cage. Oh, time, why can't you be kind? Yours throughout our hands. Every time we're first, we're behind. Only markers can be found throughout the lands. Oh, time, please don't be that way. Memories seem to fade away. Too much time to work then play. Why can't the good times stay? Oh, time, why do you play hardball? Why can't things stay the same? Why must you keep breaking the iron wall? What is proclaimed by playing this game? Oh, time, why do you play tag? Why do you run quicker than a flash? Why do you win when you nag, nag, and nag? Why can't the good days or nights last? Oh, time, why do we have to grow up? Why can't we dream inside our cocoons? Why can't we drink out of our invisible cups? Why can't we travel to the stars and moon? Oh, time, why do you run away? Why can't you feed our hourglass? We hopefully pray every single day. We hope to complete our personal task. Oh, time, could we be friends? Could you stay by our side? Please let's make a peaceful amends. Let's not side or divide that our faulty past has died. Oh, time, it's not your fault. We can never control you. Our stories of glories can't be halt. If we can't live, then who? Thank you.
Yo, I know some of y'all caught that. Like, whoa, what just happened? Unmute yourself, give it up for Eddie Foreman.
Yes, Eddie.
Nice, Eddie.
Thank you. Woo!
Love the singing so much to start. Love just the energy. Yes, man.
Yeah, I
Welcome.
want to complain to time for moving so fast. Your poem ended too soon.
Nice one, Jedi. Listen, Eddie, I don't know if anyone was ready for that one, man, but you made some heavyweight statements in there, sir. Heavyweight, right? And I love the title of the poem, right? Sandy Hourglass. Like, I really dig that. No new stage in this no new stage in this complex cage, right? Oh, time, please don't be that way. Like, are you trying to woo time, sir? Is that what I heard? Right? Why can't the good times stay? Oh, time, why do you play tag? Oh, time, could we be friends? Oh, time, it's not your fault. Like when did you just start writing this love poem to time? Like, this kind of fly, man. Like, I don't know if you saw it that way, but it just kind of fly, man. It just kind of turned out to be this love poem to time itself. Like, I appreciate that, sir. Really, like Eddie's never ceases to amaze me. I appreciate you for staying dedicated to what you do, Eddie. On point. Appreciate you, sir. Appreciate you. And a smile that just won't quit. I'm telling you, that dude's on point. All right. I don't see our next our resident musician in the building, so we will definitely come back. I don't see our next two participants in the building at the moment. So what we will do, no worries. Thank you. Listen, shout out to Storm God. He won't be able to make it this evening. Thank you. Thank you, Marianne. I appreciate you. All right. So listen. This is why it's the greatest community in the world. Because it's like, oh no, we're missing a headliner. Don't worry about it. Because every single person in here did not come to mess around. And it just so happens that the next performer did not come here to tap dance. And I guarantee you, he's about to put on an experience for you that will show you partially why this is the greatest community in the world. The one and only Baba and Goma is in the building. Peace to the God. Let these folks know where they can find you. It is always great to see you, God. Please take it away.
Peace, y'all. I put all of it in the chat after I do what I'm going to do. All right? Cool. That's right. New Millennium Dream. I snort wheatgrass juice for breakfast. It opens my third eye to the Most High, telling me not to use my stomach as a cemetery for dead animals. I party with 40s of carrot juice, ginger, and beets. Helps my tantric love last. I smoke blunts with poetry, shifts my paradigm, helps me rhyme on time. In time, if there is time, I question it, but then I question everything. It's this telepathy, perhaps you've heard of me. I communicate with trees, they tell me gossip. Their roots run deep to the center of the universe. I open chakras too. I use my didgeridoo for cultural healing when I play for you. These similes and metaphors open the doors to your mind that was shut. That's why we in such a rut. But I channel knowledge from the kingdom of King Tut. I was a citizen of Atlantis in a past life. That's why I swim through this illusion that you think of as life. This one of pain and strife, where you'll be in prison for eternity until your mind breaks free and you can really see things can change when you question authority. Like the elimination of reincarnation in 325 AD. I have no use for a compass. I read the earth's blueprint. Don't believe in owning land or paying landlord's rent. I always give praise to the 7 directions. I know that the soul is an act of perfection. We're all made in the image of God, but God has no body. So I studied the travel of the soul. It never grows old, at least not the way that you think of as old, for soul is eternal, never ending. The kingdom of heaven is within. There are spirits seen and unseen. Spirits known and unknown, singing life is full of riddles that only the dead can answer. If you listen, you can hear them in the echoes of the wind, chanting siren sounds from the place that time began. There goes that word again. I believe in all things as opposed to those who believe in nothing. I'm the center of the crossroads that all souls travel through, a traverse point in the cosmos protected. I live in all worlds, exist in all things. Place your palms to mine, retrieve your memory. There's a TV screen in the third eye, viewing the Akashic records from the Most High. Trace your roots and return to the light. Hatahu. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So yeah, we gotta let that breathe for a second, you dig? Yeah, 'cause this is what this dude does. Unmute yourself, give it up for Baba Ingoma.
Baba. Woo! Ngoma. Love it.
I keep
Wonderful.
saying, man, like you're one of those national treasures, man. Like they need you just need to like travel this country and put that in people's worlds. Like you just said, like you said, even that lesson, right? Like you like you you just bring the healing every time you play that didgeridoo, right? Every time you play it, even though it's called a yidaki, it's not called a didgeridoo, folks. It's called a yidaki. All right, he mentioned it, but listen, he's just what you do, sir, and the fervency with which you do it. I appreciate you. You said the elders told you not to use. He said not to use my stomach as a graveyard for a dead animal. He said I smoke blunts of poetry. Come on, man. You know I want some of that fire. Pass that. Pass that. Perhaps you heard of me. Perhaps you heard of me. I was a citizen of Atlantis in my past life. Come on, man. Come on, man. You and them Isley brothers, man. Y'all be doing the most with it. Like, for real. Always give praise to the 7 directions. The kingdom of heaven is within. Life is full of riddles only the dead can answer. Place your palms to mine, reclaim your memories. Like, I appreciate you, Baba, for always doing what you do, for always cleansing the air, for always giving us an experience, man. For real. You always stay on point, continues to do it and do it and do it well. No one, and I mean no one, would believe how long that cat's been around, but he'll tell you he come from back of the bus, man. That dude's bad to the bone, for real. Appreciate you, Baba. Again, author of I Didn't Come Here to Tap Dance. Get your life. All right, coming up next, this incredible artist. Listen, I'm so thankful that they have found their way back to us on a regular basis because their voice needs to be heard, right? Because of the way that they express themselves, I think everyone gets something from their experience. The one and only Bonnie Soloway in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you, Bonnie. It is always great to see you. Please, take it away.
Thank you so much, Elemental. That was a great intro, but a very, very hard act to follow, I will say that. So I'm on B Soloway on almost every platform, and similar to our first Alex's first introduction, I have something similar that was just really bugging me about this election season, and it's my ongoing internal fight with the media. Anyway, so this is called Criminal Truths. Criminality finds the loopholes lawful honesty doesn't see. Those who work outside the system are different from you and me. They're smart in a conniving way, climbing on others to reach the top. Breaking all the rules begets the laws that they adopt. They must get great enjoyment from the lives that they disrupt. While living on this earth, they follow their own unique construct. To hell with those who suffer, to hell with those who are sick. Their need to land on top employs the dirtiest of all tricks. Without genetic conscience, sociopathy is their thing. Makes life so much easier when truth is twisting and unhinged. Despite followers hearing and seeing facts with their own ears and eyes, one person becomes their Bible, insisting what to believe or deny. Lies become their truths as we stand aside and say, if we could infiltrate their brains, could we learn to thwart their ways, understand what makes them tick, get them back on track? It's probably quicker to go to law school to get hands cuffed behind their backs. It seems with criminal types, only one thing works for sure. Those red, blue twirling lights and that slammed shut prison door. It's a long-ass legal road for those fighting for righteous truth. Harder still when judges and justices are paid off to misconstrue. I sure hope democracy finds its way through to make needed changes to bring truth back in view, to have media join we the people, ignoring the low-hanging fruit of loud, nasty voices, rarely cross-checked to dispute. To have media stop reporting this election like there's some moral equivalency. One's a felonious fascist, the other's America's last damn hope for democracy. Thank you. The end.
Now, you see, this is why a poet should have the very first invitation to whatever national convention you subscribe to.
Yeah.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Bonnie Soloway.
That was amazing. Really liked your delivery, Bonnie. Really liked your message. I mean,
Thank you.
it all just is so upsetting, and it's hard to take the time to put it into words sometimes because there's this rage, you know. So thank you for doing it intelligently. Really.
You're welcome. Happy to do it anytime.
No, I was right there with you, girl.
Thanks.
It's tough. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been increasingly struck by how the way you work with rhymes makes what you're talking about more accessible. I'm not saying it like makes it easy, but you're dealing with things that upset a lot of us, and your rhyming somehow makes it easier to apprehend.
I agree with that. I mean, like sometimes those poetry tools make things, we're able to hear them in a different timbre,
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. That's a good point, Paul.
Thanks. Thank you. It helps me as well.
Yes, me too.
Listen, delivery makes a very big difference, right? If you're coming off sounding, and forgive me, I watch a lot of anime, but if you're coming off like, Lord, explosion, murder, kill, then people are going to be like, someone call security, get them out of here, right? But if you come across it in a way that says, oh no, I'm going to insult you here. Let me see if you catch it. I'm going to call your brain so minute that it can fit inside a walnut shell. Let's see if you can catch it, right? And if you do catch it, what are you going to do about it, right? Because we can see all of the faults, right? As if your name was San Andreas. We can see all your faults. very glaring, right? But like you said, they're choosing to turn blind eyes to it, right? This is the beauty of politics, right? Criminal truth, right? I love the title, love criminal truth. It's no doubt about it. They must get great enjoyment from the lives they disrupt. I would have to agree with that. They must, because they do it very well, like they get paid for it, right? Kind of like assassins. The dirtiest of all tricks, right? Let's this line, damn it, body. Like, one person becomes their Bible. That one's gonna mess with me for a while. One person becomes their Bible, and anyone who knows that book, some would call the Holy Bible, some will call the basic instructions before leaving Earth. I'm just saying it's a lot to that. When someone that's a very heavy line. Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you. I love poets. I love poets. The greatest community in the world, y'all. I'm telling you, I get excited. I know I'm biased, but I get excited. Before we move on, let me shout out some of these students in the building, man. Shout out Kayla and Noah and Caitlin and Grace and Sarah and Allison. Hey, there's no way I'm going to try to attempt to tap dance around your last name. Forget about it. I see you in the building. I recognize you, and I appreciate y'all for coming through. Your energy is meaningful. Appreciate you. All right, coming up next, all the way across the pond, this cat never ceases to amaze. The most eloquent writer that I know, the one and only lantern carrier in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you, Lantern. It has been a while, sir, but it's always great to see you. Please, take it away.
Thank you, my brother. I was hanging out in Losida Avenue with your brother RMT just 2 weeks ago. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on. Nor all your piety nor wit can lure it back to cancel half a line. Nor all your tears wash out a word of it. O Makayam. She ticks unnoticed, assuredly and unerringly like Zen in the sacrament of the present moment. She waits for none, whether she rides on tornadoes or a breeze of fine silk, weaving an elegant brocade of births, struggle, age, and deaths, a reawakening in the soul's region. Sometimes she's comforting, occasionally a despair of unfulfilled desires, yet, like a Libran pendulum, unlike the clock that carries her name, she's designed by a nameless silence and never fails. She's assured me by faith of the morning sunlight, the magnificence I seek in marigolds of spring. She projects the allure and charisma in the femininity of a golden summer, the cascading rose pink of autumnal reverence. Mostly, her lustrous dawns bring renewal and hope, and I'm invigorated, sensing intuitively that hand gloves and warm clothing will help in a winter's hush. Even so, she can seemingly be too slow or too fast. Tick, tock, tick, tock. I try to catch my boss at selective moments, wait endlessly for Fridays, or make phone calls to important people, hoping my timing is great. Timing can be crucial for so many things. We may not want to call Simone Biles when, like snowflakes, she's dealing with her wintry moments. Neither do we dare to use that overdraft when our wages seem sparse. We seek vacations when warm sand and beaches call, or Panama is bustling with shopping, just as we make time to seek solitude when challenges spill images on our thoughts like nocturnal ghosts. Time waits for no one is the old cliche, and some find it disconcerting in their 30s if the marriage and children are still dreams, if the glint in their hair fades, or grays beginning to appear on their shoulders. Timing is everything, but can we dictate this? Like Libra, astrology has its own pendulums where both pleasure and pain swing with the vicissitudes of life. I was born again at love's hour, yet this happened when I was 30 years old, married with one child, and financially soaring to the skies. Planners, planners, says the seer, love never plans. Grace may flow in our favor, but again, can sometimes seem reluctant to do so. I am but a slave of destiny, which dances on my forehead, and even the very hairs on my head cannot fall without the will of the light in paradise. Nothing happens without the consent of natural laws. She'll die tomorrow, says the doctor, yet 2 years later, she's still alive. Lantern says, effort is necessary, but deeds are sown from within in seed form and will follow each thought to manifest the glories of our golden dreams without. Lantern Carrier, thank you.
I don't know anyone else who can do that. Golden dreams without? Who has golden dreams without? This guy. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Lantern Carrier.
Woo! Yeah.
Bravo, bravo, Lantern, bravo.
Thank you.
Just how you choose to use words, sir. Right? The way that you choose to put your phrases together, like you're just poetic, right? Like some people try to squeeze their efforts into a poem. Some people are overtly poetic because they're trying to be. But the way that you write, it just comes out that way. It just I'm convinced, and I've collaborated with this brother multiple times. I'm convinced that it just comes out that way, right? It reminds me of a Biggie line, right? I got techniques dripping out my butt cheeks, sleep on my stomach so I don't fuck up my sheets. Like I know it may not be, but straight up, it really is that, right? Like when you're overflowing with it, it happens that way. He said she ticks unnoticed, right? Designed by a nameless silence. In the femininity of a golden summer. That's just, come on, man. Like it's in her hair. Illustrious dawns bring hope, right? When challenges spill images on our thoughts, right? Can we dictate this? Astrology has its own pendulum. Right? Love never plans. I am but a slave to destiny. You're incredible, sir. Thank you for what you do, for staying up wicked late and rocking with us. Truly, truly appreciate your energy, sir. Coming up next, I mentioned this incredible artist from the get-go. It is always great to see this next artist because I love when artists really give themselves to their artwork. And this artist truly has done that from the time that we've met them to, I'm pretty sure today is going to be no different. The one and only Dr. Z Page is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. It is always great to see you. Please take it away.
Thanks. Tough act to follow. I'm on theme. I was going to do a different one, but when I saw the theme, I thought this one was appropriate. New. I've been waiting to drop it, but I've been a little nervous too. It's called A Dragon's Curse. I hurt you without intent in an unspoken incident. I swiftly axed the roots of our growing relationship. Now I can't experience you without dissociating from the guilt of thoughtless acts. You tear like sap from the tree we first carved our initials while we sat kissing. You packed the picnic we ate in haste while ants were already carrying my heart away. We left jelly-stained blankets and crumbs crawling through green blades that cut the earth. I did it before. I warned you. Timber. It takes more than one chop to turn us into lumber, marking the notches on my cinder stick of a bedpost. An electric strike runs a kindling's current into flames and burns you. How many women will I do this to before I realize the problem? They aren't men. I know why I avoid them. I have peeped through keyholes to be secretly among the boys' clubs where no girls are allowed. I witness what they think of me. I'm crazy. I'm a slut. I'm a bitch. The dragon lady, demonized for flying free with smoke singeing her nostrils. I guard my treasure and blaze down soldiers' guns when they're aimed at my pelvis. They're afraid of me, so they learn to hate me. I can't be vulnerable when there are only paid enemies. They battle with armor like hardened scales to impress my hidden maiden. I'd molt my outer shell covering my soft insides, but they boast about the size of their swords, claiming their thrusts will slay me. We face a roulette's impasse of insecurity, a toss to who will let their guard down first. They should know my bite's legend is overestimated. I just want to be petted with soft furs and share jewelry that dangles from a listening ear. I want them to know my worth and combine our gold. Please cradle me with a kiss on the hair while I weep with my head to your chest. Let me side saddle your steeds since my sense of direction lacks a compass. Help me live on proudly in a story shared with the next generation. Will I be redeemed, or will I have to take this journey alone? I need support to find my own. Thank you.
Yo, that's just heavyweight work. Damn it. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Dr. Z. Hey!
Yeah.
Bravo. Bravo.
Yeah, Doctor, such a super poignant piece about the search for self. Gotta find yourself before you can own yourself. That was really powerful. Thanks again for bringing that kind of journey under these really difficult circumstances that you go through.
Yeah, this is first of all, this is why I say it's the greatest community in the world, right? I understand I'm biased because I'm sitting here. I get that. However, I continue to say that because we continue to get something like that. First of all, shout out the new shit. Secondly, your vulnerability is always so inspiring. You gotta know that, right? The way that you approach writing your work, even from a dragon's curse, is worth the work. Didn't mean to rhyme all of that right there. It just happened that way. But listen, the way that you put it down, right? You said you quickly asked the roots of our growing relationship. What? While the ants were already carrying my heart away, and then you rolled your eyes like, oh my God, I was just so gone. Like even the ants were just taking me away, like it was a Calgon commercial or some shit, right? Takes more than one chop to make us into lumber. Love that. To be secretly amongst the boys club, I think there's a whole piece in there. Demonized for flying free. I love that. Can't be vulnerable when they're only paid enemies. Damn it, Dr. Page, come on. When they're only paid enemies? I'm gonna need y'all to go back. If y'all didn't catch all of that, what they meant by that, I'm gonna need y'all to go back, right? Because then they even kept it going with claiming their thrust would slay me. My bite's legend is overestimated. Let me side saddle your. Go back and listen to Dr. Z Page. Dr. Z Page is pretty ridiculous. Appreciate you, Dr. Z Page, for what you're doing, your fearlessness and your vulnerability. Thank you for sharing it with us. All right. Listen, listen, this is the greatest night of the week. I know I'm biased. Two more, and then we're gonna go to halftime. Coming up next, I said earlier that the storytellers were in the building. Here comes another one. I like to call this cat the Vincent Price of poetry, author of multiple books. I'm telling you. And when you get your hands on him and you see just how crafty this cat is with words, you'll understand why he's a member of the greatest community in the world. The one and only Ike Waltz in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you, Ike. It is always great to see you. Come on, man. Take it away.
Thank you, Elemen2al. Timing muted. Once again, the Second Amendment failed to protect us. Instead of defending democracy, it kills our children. Instead of guaranteeing freedom, it has shackled our minds. Contamination on a monumental scale. Automatic weapons in the hands of children are for sale. There is nothing brave about the Second Amendment, but a bunch of cowardice remains. Son of a gun, or when the second shoots the first into the foot. I admit, I came to America to make money. Build a house, sit in it, open the window and look at the sea. Birds and bees like anybody else. Yes, I let my cat respond to the knock on the door. Knock, knock, who's there? And my cat says, meow. Only to realize the profound American love for legalized corruption, often mistaken for freedom, as so patriotically proclaimed. And then I was lucky to listen to Mahalia Jackson singing the traditional American spiritual. He's got the whole world in his hands. Not only being captivated by the simplicity of its magic words, or being fascinated by her innate musicality, but being deeply touched by the genuine tears escaping her eyes. With tears in my eyes, once I became an American. So let me repeat, he's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got my brothers and my sisters in his hands. He's got all mothers and fathers in his hands. And then he's got a gun in his hand. He's got a mean gun in his hand. He's got a gun in his hand. He's had a bad, bad day and teach the world. He shot a brother in the head. He shot his big brother in the head. He shot a sister in the back. He shot his sweet little sister in the back. He shot a mother in her bed. He shot them all in cold blood. Death. He's got an angry gun on his mind. He's got an angry gun in his ears. He's got an angry gun up his nose. He's got an angry gun in his mouth. He's got a target in his mean eyes. He's got a target in his cold sight. And then, let's not forget the mean gunner, a misguided MAGA-son, the mean gunner, a disgruntled kid or man. Any mean gunner has access to any, whatever gun, misguided by legalized corruption and by whatever motive under the sun. Misguided by an outdated Second Amendment only constitutional lawyers comprehend, misguided by a perverse interpretation of freedom, misguided by misguided shareholders. As long as killing machines turn a profit, we don't care. Misguided by a misguided system that promotes the right to kill my world. Yes, now he's got a gun in his hand. He's had a mean gun till his end. And then he had the whole world in one hand, the same hand that pulls that trigger till his end, the same hand that dropped that blooded gun. What an end! And all the silver bullets in his defense do not help, do not understand. He's got no flowers on his grave. He's got no tears that forgave. And all that automatic gun did not make him that exceptional, free, brave American man. Yes, he's had a violent gun, one of the best, and I have a painful lump in my chest. And then he's had the whole world in his hands. He's had my whole world in his hands. Thank you.
You know, putting it in a very real perspective, it just makes gunpowder seem like what they made the ink out of, that they wrote that damn amendment. That's just me. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Ike. Whoa.
Bravo. Bravo, Ike.
That was powerful.
Very powerful.
Whole world in his hands, man.
Yeah, those opening lines about the Second Amendment and what it's got perverted into were so choice.
When he said the second shot the first in the foot, it's over. When he said the Second Amendment shot the first in the foot, and listen, I really, really implore all of you, the folks who are watching on social media, the folks who will watch this at some point in time, go back and listen. Really, really, really dig what he said. The Second Amendment shot the first one in the foot. There's nothing brave about the Second Amendment. But America loves legalized corruption. He mentioned Mahalia Jackson. Mahalia Jackson is like the epitome of gospel, if you will, Negro spirituals, if you will. I think those two go hand in hand as far as what America knows as gospel. He said he's got an angry gun on his mind. Is there any other type? Someone please tell me, is there any other type? I love that line. As long as killing machines turn a profit, we don't care. I think there's something very disturbing about the ghastly, ghostly, damn truth about that line. So thank you, sir, for sharing it with us. I told y'all Ike Waltz is incredible, author of multiple books. Make sure you plug in with Ike Waltz. He is incredible, even with his visuals. And he was a pretty incredible dancer in his day. I know. Ask him about it. Appreciate you, Ike, for what you do. All right. One more artist, and we are going to take it to the halftime. So coming up next, as I mentioned, shout out the educators in the building. This incredible artist, no matter where in the world she finds herself, right? I think she's been in like 3 or 4 different coordinates in the life of her poetry career, sharing with us. But this incredible artist comes through with an incredible light that only, of course, the moon could project. Shout out Jules and all the incredible things that she continues to do. The one and only Marianne Teft is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you, Marianne. It's always great to see you. Please take it away.
Thank you so much, Elemental. The pleasure is always mine. Poet friends, RMT, it's great to see you tonight. I came to the New York tonight ready to read on theme a bittersweet love song poem. Timing is indeed everything in this life. And as you mentioned, Elemental, I am a classroom teacher. It's been a very rough week already for us. I received in February, as many of you know, only I have discovered the second worst message that a mother can receive when I learned that my only child had been in a traumatic motorcycle accident. I would like to shout out a mom in Georgia who received the very worst kind of message, and from her own daughter this week, when her teenager wrote, "I haven't been a very good child. I love you. I'm sorry." And I just wanted to use my time here to say, I'm sorry too. Thank you, Elemental. Thank you, poet friends.
This is why I love our community. This is. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Marianne Tam.
Thank you. Thank you, Marianne.
Yes, yes, yes.
We feel
Always so
Thank you,
eloquent,
Marianne.
so eloquent and meaningful.
Mhm.
And in just a few words, it really reaches out to everyone's heart. So I really appreciate that.
Yes, yes.
Yes, and the giving back that you're giving was sending the love forward, you know, to the other parents who've lost. It's just, you know, it's a beautiful thing and an awful, awful fucking nightmare. So thank you for that gift for them.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for allowing me that time.
And the way that you took choice to make that time such a gift, and for it to
Right.
be so felt, it was just like, I think everybody's heart literally jumped the beat. I think that's sacred.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because, you know, we don't really get a chance to do that. What happens is it's just another school shooting and you see who
Right.
died and you see what's going on, and then you just
Right.
move on when the media moves on, you know, just move on. And it's just horrible. You know,
Nuyorican Poets Cafe. If you can't say it here, where can you say it?
Which is why we're here. Thank you for saying that, Jedi Master, which is why we're here. Right? Listen, couple things. One, before I pass it off to Ron, prepare yourself, folks. We are gonna do a moment of silence, right? However, I want to say before we get to that, I wanted to say how much of an educator spirit you have, Marianne, in the fact that even in this moment, you're thinking about the people who gave their lives, figuratively and literally, to the cause of education. And that is extremely meaningful for someone who has dedicated their lives to education. For someone to do something like that, all right? And for those for those of you who don't know, if you have not been plugged in, there was a recent school shooting. And as Bonnie mentioned, here's another one. And I hate the fact that that is even a standard rotation where we live now. Right? It's another one. Oh, we're familiar with these, right? But for Marianne to take the time to make sure that we are showing love to the people who continue to fight to educate others. Despite all the odds, they continue to fight to educate others. And I thank you so much for taking your time to show them love. I appreciate you so very much. Again, shout out the educators. It's a thankless, really underpaid job. Really, it really is. But a very necessary one. And I am thankful that the next generation has educators like Marianne Tep to help them through. I appreciate you. Speaking of educators, also shout out Doug Silver, wherever you are. Appreciate you for doing what you do as well. All right. So before we move on, I am going to as I said, real quick, before I pass it off to RMT, everyone, I would like everyone to join me in a moment of silence for those who have lost their lives recently in an unnecessary way. in the name of passion, in the name of peace, we are going to hold space for those who need to express their feelings and truly, truly express what this time means to all of us. So please join me in a moment of silence for all those who have been lost recently. Thank you all for your dedication, for your focus, for your love, for your passion. It truly, truly makes a difference. All right, folks, before we move on, I'm going to pass it to the dopest tech in the Zoom verse, the one and only Ron Mark Thompson, aka RMT. If you're not down with RMT by now, damn it, you should be. Ron, how you feeling this evening, man? Tell the people.
I'm feeling okay. I don't even know how to follow this. Thank you so much, Mariana and Elemental. And, yes, thank you for your thoughts, and something definitely has to be done. In the meantime, we are here at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, and we can at least voice, our voices, fight with our voices, with our words. So on that note, for those who don't know me, I'm hiding here in the background. I am Ron Mark Thompson. I am the tech assistant here at the online open mics weekly on Thursdays. As well, I am a program and operations assistant at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. I am zooming in not from the cafe, but from home in the Bronx in New York City. As many of you may be aware, the Nuyorican Poets Cafe's building currently is closed. The city is reconstructing it because the cafe is 50 years old. Soon we're going to be celebrating 51 years in 2 months. But the building we were in recently is over 100 years old. So the city has given us a grant and they are taking care of the reconstruction. But we are continuing our in-person programs throughout New York City at venues and organizations we have partnered with. Our next karaoke will be at South of Friends, which is a restaurant in the Bronx, September 7th, which is this Saturday, 9 p.m. Paul Concasso will be returning to host that one. We are also trying to secure September 21st. Please stay tuned. But in the meantime, September 7th, this Saturday, is denied free admission. And there's also food and drinks available for purchase at the restaurant. That's in the Bronx. Also, as Elemental mentioned, we are continuing our Nuyorican Bowery Slams every Monday, 6:30 p.m. Show starts at 7 p.m. That's at the Bowery Poetry Club. This coming Monday, it'll be Jay Rose's turn to host. And all the winners from Mondays move on to compete monthly at the Final Friday Slam. And as in the title, it's always on the final Friday of the month, which this month will be September 27th. Usually it is hosted by Tony McPherson, but he is not available this month on September 27th. So we have a guest host, Felicia Kate, aka Rice Felicia, who many of you know. She has hosted our Women Orator Wednesdays, as well our open mics at the International Center of Photography. Luna Rosa will also return at the DJ table. That's September 27, 9:30 p.m. Doors open, 10 p.m. show starts. Tickets, get them through our nuyorican.org/calendar. And that's at the Puerto Rican Traveling Theater in the Times Square neighborhood. If you're looking for free open mics, we are pleased to continue our summer open mics at La Sala de Pepe. We just had 2 there last month. That's where Lantern mentioned. I met him there in person at our annual meetings that we have there. Lantern, it was such a pleasure to see you there and chat with you afterwards. We are going to be back there. Brian Acosta Aria will host again on September 11th and September 25th. And stay tuned. Thereafter, we are planning to return to the Lois Cider Community Center. But hey, we love La Sala de Pepe so much, we may continue additional open mics there. So stay tuned. We're going to try our best, to give you as much free and ticketed programs as possible. On that note, we have many more programs. Teenage open mic returns at P&T Knitwear back from the summer break. That's the last Saturday of this month. We're going to have several free workshops in collaboration with the New York Public Library throughout the Bronx, Manhattan, and Staten Island. So for any and all of this, stay with us on social media. You can find our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube pages and channels on our link tree, or you can go to our calendar of events, which is nuyorican.org/calendar. And there you will also see that we do continue to offer online programming in addition to our in-person program. So for all the newcomers here, including the students from James Madison University, welcome back again. If you want to sign up, it's the same Zoom link each week, your first day, 8 p.m. Eastern time. If you want to sign up for an artist RSVP spot, it opens up 24 hours before that on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on our ticket calendar site. But if you miss it, again, you can ask to be added to the good luck round. That term was coined by our executive director, La Brua, and Ray Chain, who hosted on Thursdays for over a year, continued this tradition as well. And so is Elemen2al, and we are very happy about that. And you can find our recordings and live streams in case you missed our Thursday live, performances. You can always go back to our YouTube channel and Facebook page to rewatch yourself or any of the other performances going all the way back to 2020 when we started our online open mics during the pandemic. Also online is our Beatnik series, which is currently on the road. Tony McPherson is hosting that. Our most recent episode features poems from New Orleans. You can find that for free on our YouTube channel and Facebook page. And if you go back 2 or 3 months, you will see our host, Elemen2al. He was a feature there as well. So feel free to check and watch our Beatniks on the Road episodes. And one more online offering that we added this season, which is a free poetry slam workshop hosted and taught by Tony McPherson, supported by poets and writers and the New York State Council on the Arts. And this one is held every second Tuesday of the month. If you go to our calendar and ticket site, you will notice that next Tuesday, September 10th, is already crossed out because we limit participants to 10 tickets there, because Tony will give each class participant attention, to sculpt their poem, and teach everyone that is in attendance how to write for poetry slams. But we still have tickets for the ones in October, in November, in December. So go ahead and sign up if you want to. Again, that is free, held via Zoom, second Tuesday of the month at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. All right, that's it from our offerings in person and online. Here I am. I'm a real person, as you can see here in camera. Again, very happy to be here on Thursdays. It's definitely the highlight of my week. And even though I cannot be physically in the Nuyorican Poets Cafe right now because it's under construction, but I'm more than happy to be helping out here remotely on Thursdays and at our many different venues and organizations we are collaborating with. So on that note, our next performer is no stranger here. I have met her in person at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe a year ago. She always brings great and powerful poetry and stories to us. Our host Elemen2al calls her the priestess. Welcome back, Miss Osho Nguyen. You know how it goes. Let everyone know where we may follow you, and the next 3 minutes are all yours. Welcome back.
Thank you. I can be found in the usual places on Facebook and Instagram, and in the back of your mind going, after I read these 2 poems tonight, did she really say that? Okay, because of everything that's going on, I wasn't even intending to read these tonight, but it kind of reminded me of these two pieces. So let me get started. It was a day that the chickens came home to roost 911, that the sins of the forefathers came and sat squarely on the shoulders of the great-great-grandsons. It was a day that the chickens came home to roost 911, that the self-righteous descendants of slave owners finally began to understand the same twisted internal knot of impotent frustration that the men, women, and children of the Ashanti, the Bono, the Igbo, the Sinifu, the Bambara, the Mandinko, the Yoruba, the Dan, the Dogon, and others whose names, titles, and nations had long since been forgotten had felt as they saw their mothers, sisters, husbands, brothers, and friends murdered, killed, castrated, raped, mutilated, mated, humiliated, denigrated, sold, separated, and bartered for trite materialism and greed that is still incomprehensible today. They put one drop in the ocean of bloody tears, the same ocean of tears that crashes to the shore of tortured memory, bloody with the tears that the victims of their ancestors have wept ceaselessly for 600 centuries. It was a day the chickens came home to roost 911, that the descendants of genocidal maniacs felt the same grief the Lakota, Dakota, Cherokee, Blackfoot, Sioux, Miccosukee, Seminole, Lenni Lenape, and Choctaw felt. They burned with a vengeance while they stewed in their own blood, in their own pot, over their own fire, on their own land, feeling an infantile helplessness, unable to defend their land, their families, their very way of life. It was a day that the chickens came home to roost 911, that the innocent roasted in the incinerator of anger and retaliation. Some burned to the crisp, some trapped in the false hope of security or rescue, others fleeing, slipping on the rich black grave dirt, barely escaping the headlong tumble, the frost of death's cold gray breath numbing their minds, just missing the slip into the bottomless tomb of senseless death from which there was no return. It was the day the chickens came home to roost 911, that the usurpers, the germs of the disease of imperialism, found their home just as vulnerable as an animal in a feed bin in the middle of the slaughterhouse yard, for the demise ordained in karma, a black nuclear cloud, imminent, no longer a distant possibility, but a stark reality that was just a matter of time. It was a day that the chickens came home to roost 911, that the sins of the forefathers came and sat squarely on the shoulders of 5 generations of great-great-grandsons and demanded retribution. There is no escape from karma. Okay, if I have time, I have one more. Again, brought on by all this craziness that's going on in our world right now. Blood in, blood out. Old time games, preaching manifest destinies, slaughtering and enslaving. They came with crosses and lynch mobs, made trees unwilling participants in murder and genocide. Blood-drenched earth bears witness to the African spiritual warriors slain, ghost dancers executed at Wounded Knee, the stage set for souls returning for war, justice, and retribution. Blood in, blood out. In the old school, karma says, you suck in my blood, yours get drained out later, maybe 400 years later. Blood in, blood out. Ancient old school sacrifice, appeasing the souls of those horribly wronged, tortured, murdered, maimed, injured, yes, sacrificed in the ancestral tradition. Life force shared with the other world. Sincere apology made. Damages paid. Otherwise, the new school continues, flourishes in answer to the restless souls that walk in angered torment. African, Choctaw, Ute, Lenape, Shawnee, Cree, Lakota, and countless others. Yes, the spirits in this land are angry. Angry about being murdered, angry about being stolen from their land, angry about their land being stolen, about the desecration of their burial grounds and sacred spaces. So, they take possession of troubled souls. Remember? Pearl High School, Sheath High School, Oklahoma City, Thurston High School, Columbine, University of Arkansas, Virginia Tech, Sandy Hook, the Boston Marathon. The quarrel is not over until the damages have been paid. The price is impossibly high. The rituals are ignored. The new school continues unchecked. Blood in, blood out. And these days, it's our blood.
Said the new school continues unchecked. There's a reason for that, ladies and gentlemen. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Oshun. Yo, yeah.
Oh, yes. Powerful.
Bravo. Bravo.
Powerful
It's
indeed.
sad. It's really sad.
I think the new school is also the one school that when all the protesters were wiped off the campuses for Palestine, the teachers went out and continued it. I don't know if there's a reference in there with that, or if they tie together some strange way.
Go.
No, but that would be something else. I kind of was talking about people dying because it's gotten crazy.
No, I know,
Gotten crazy.
I know, but even as poets, we write things that are important, and they put a bookmark or a dog ear in that page of history. Words change over time, so it just made me think of it. And since we're in a non-censorship mode, Nuyo, love you. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to spread the blanket around and see that our work is. We do our best
Never
all
finished.
the time.
Our work is never
Plus,
finished.
you're one of my favorite
Never
people.
finished.
Not just poets. You're one of my favorite people. Love you.
Facts. Our work is never finished. I second the sentiment of my community members. Before I get to my critiquing and commentary, make sure all of y'all show your love to RMT all the way in the BX. Shout out to BX. Listen, Ron is again one of the dopest human beings I know. For real. Even Lantern was saying he was hanging out, with Ron in the Lower East Side. Shout out to Lower East Siders in the building. Just so much that Ron does to help us keep going. I appreciate you, Ron. Again, shout out to BX in the building. Oshun Yoyin, peace to the gods and the earth. Listen, when the priestess comes through, as Ron said, she always has a way of blessing us with how she does what she does. She mentioned a lot in that piece, y'all. A lot. She mentioned a lot of African tribes that, y'all may not be familiar with, but I love episodes like this because, we get to actually go back and dissect some of this stuff and learn, right? This is PRT, if you will, poor righteous teachers in this building. Ocean of Bloody Tears, and we ended up, on these shores of torment. The day their chickens came home to roost, 911. Like, oh, that has to be somewhere in somebody's poetry documentary, even if I have to film it myself. Like, the day their chickens came home to roost, 911. Like, it's just gonna shout out my man Propaganda Poet. Shout out Miramar College. She mentioned the Lakota, right? My man Prop is a member of the Lakota tribe. Shout out my family. My grandmother was a member of the Blackfoot tribe. Just so many aspects of connecting people and cultures to cultivate this land. The germs and diseases of imperialism. I love it. A black nuclear cloud imminent. That's just heavyweight. I love that. Black nuclear cloud. Sorry, I may steal that at some point. There is no escape from karma. And the second piece, blood in, blood out. I'm not gonna spend too much time on that, but it's heavy. It's heavy. Made trees accessories to murder. They came with their crosses and their lynch mobs. Take possession of public schools. The new school remains unchecked. Last point, you know why the new school remains unchecked? Because all the OGs have been locked up for multiple lifetimes to ensure that the new school stays unchecked. They call it mandatory minimum sentencing. Thank you so much, Oshunyoyen, for doing what you do. Again, peace to the gods and the earth for the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding for all that we do. Listen, before I move on, let me shout out a couple more folks, some more students in the building. Shout out Caroline, shout out Lizzie, shout out William, shout out Benjamin, shout out Iris, shout out Shane, shout out all the folks who are watching on social media. Truly appreciate y'all. Whatever your educator is, whoever your professor is that put y'all in the building, he is the shiznit. Like, for real, you need to have him holler at me, right? He's probably the dopest professor on your campus. Again, shout out the educators. Oshunyoyen was an educator. Marianne Teff is an educator. Listen, all of these folks, at some point in time, Finn Bell's an educator. CCR Chagra's an educator. And listen, coming up next, if this cat ever decides he wants to step into a classroom, he'll be an educator too. All the way out on the West Coast, the one and only Abraham Kamani in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. It is always great to see you, bro. Come on, man. Take it away.
Elemen2al and everyone else. I'm on Instagram at The Righteous Poet and Facebook on Abraham Kamani. And actually, I have been in the classroom before. I was a special ed assistant for the LA Unified School District for a few years. So, yes, I do have experience working with the youngins. I got 2 for you guys and also a haiku. So technically 3. I'll start with the haiku. Smell Stella Rosa. She has a funny odor. Bittersweet humor. All right. This one is called Service of Silence. My mouth is private property, storing personal information given on a need-to-know basis. My brain is a shiny gold key dangling inside of my head, unmoved by popular demand to unlock my tinted lips. Glass windows no one can see through to pick what items they will shoplift for their own free consumption. Ironically enough, my store is not the least bit prosperous. No one is willing to buy. I absolutely refuse to sell. Yet, I thrive in abundance for not supplying myself to anyone who is untrustworthy of knowing me intimately. As a proud, self-determined CEO of minding my own business, I provide the service of silence to the general public, a commodity that guarantees professional gossipers will not acquire a wealth of open ears at the expense of my good heart. But for those curious enough to inquire the secret of living a longevity of success, I give them 5 simple words. Mind your own damn business. And this last one, it's a little spicy. It's called Pencil Strokes. Here is my pencil, a firm utensil, abundant in lead, fulfilling your head, holding sticky notes with thick, creamy quotes. You will remember, smooth strokes so tender, tightening your grip on my sharp black tip, wanting me to please bring you to your knees, go deeper in depth, make your gentle flesh redder than a pool on my writing tool, leaving big imprints of deep sentiments on a lovely tie binding you and I, so skillfully traced, will not be erased from this love letter crafted together. And those are those pieces.
Man, listen. It sounds like your letters were so skillfully traced to come up with a poem like that. Mute yourself. Give it up for Abraham Kamani.
Yes, Abraham.
Right on, Abraham.
Thank you.
Right on.
Yeah, my brain is a shiny gold key. Abraham, what do I have to pay to be in the frame of mind that you were in when you came up with that line?
Like,
well, it's free of charge here. So
Glad to hear it. Spoken like a true poet.
you know what I mean? Like it's listen, you know, the thoughts are free. It's the ones that you catch, right? That you put down. Those are the ones that cost. Ugh. Listen, man, in all of your poems, right? That Stella Rosa poem, like listen, I didn't know thorns had a smell. He said the scent of thorns. I love that, man. That's sick. Like that's sick. For a haiku, that's a nice big fat gut punch, sir. I appreciate that. And for the folks who don't know, right, haiku was designed to be a performance style, right? It was supposed to be that kind of gut punch, right? I hate to put her on point like this, but Finn Bell knows a little bit more about haiku and his performance style than I do. Yeah, any questions, please reach out to her. She's incredible. We'll get to Finn Bell for real. But no, I do know that Abraham Kamani is skilled in the haiku game. He gets down. So I appreciate that first piece. And the second piece, you said he was unmoved by popular demand. A proud CEO of minding my own business. That is a hell of a line, sir. It just is. Pencil strokes, the third one. You know, the last line of the second piece, he said, mind your own damn business. Like, really. In the third piece, pencil strokes, he said, abundant with lead. You will remember so skillfully traced. So skillfully traced. As masters of their craft do. And thank you for sharing it with us. Appreciate you. All the way out on the West Coast, the one and only Abraham Kamani. Appreciate you, sir. All right. We are going to keep it going. All right. A few folks on the list haven't shown up or either cannot make it, but we are going to keep this train moving forward. Coming up next, I got a chance to work with this cat recently. I have a little something on deck that I'm going to cultivate. It's coming soon. Give me time. It's coming soon. However, coming up next, I have to come up with like the proper name for this cat because he's so ridiculous with words and how he uses them, right? And I've had a chance to work with him, so I know even more how ridiculous he is with it. He's really like a word wizard. He really kind of is. The one and only Kazi Kaz in the building. Let these folks know where they can find all of your wizardry word wickedness. Whatever, man. You know what it is. Holla at him, Kaz. Take it away.
All right. Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing tonight or today, depending upon where you are in the world? It's been a cuckoo few months for me. Some of you may notice, I hardly Zoom anymore because I've just been, stretched by life. But I know when I do come back to Zooming, I have to come back to hear the Nuyorican. You're right, Elemental. This is the greatest community. And perhaps I'm a little biased too because this was where I first started Zooming back when La Bruja was here, So I thank all of y'all, man. I thank you, Elemental, La Bruja, Ron, Miguel Algarin, all of y'all who made this possible, man. Word up. Thank y'all. And Marianne, wow, I am so sorry that you had experienced that. But your words were so profoundly necessary, and you alchemized the situation so beautifully, man. So love, man, for real. And all of you poets before me, man, y'all have been so awesome, man. I've been inspired tonight, So, okay. This piece that I have, I literally just finished it yesterday. I have no title to it. It's, I guess you could say it's on theme. If while I'm reading, y'all think of a title, please send it to me. I'm open to all suggestions. So here it goes. Excuse me. Some people get wet and others feel the rain. I'd rather get drenched in the possible sorrows of tomorrow than being forced to witness today having to wallow just from sitting there and listening to yesterday complain. I'm okay with taking the fault and being accused of being the one to blame. But when it's all said and done and everything has come and gone, I just ask that you never forget to remember my name. And did you know eternity lasts forever so that infinity will never end? Therefore, extending the never-ending longevity of perennially extensive levity, which eternally depends on this socially universal endeavor, so universally clever, which ultimately and more than appropriately extends to the boldly unfettered and inescapably ultimate ends. Amidst the careful calibration of this veritably experimental animation, which we should boldly hope to defend. So then let's pretend that today could somehow borrow some of tomorrow's borrowed time, then maybe yesterday wouldn't feel the sorrow of always having to wallow due to being forgotten and constantly left behind, to where history has now lost its ever-loving mind, presently lying to the unintelligible future in hopes of its inevitable decline. Which is why North headed south to meet up with East and West, so that all four could embark on this holistically auspicious quest, hoping winter would fall and spring into summer and rid us of this vehemently malicious mess. But I officially digress, for I admit I must concedingly confess I can't seem to get this chip off of my chin or off my cheek or off my shoulder or off my chest. So if worse were to ever come to worse, at best, I guess I'll see if I can introduce the sun to the moon sometime between the hourglass of 2 o'clock and high noon, so that the rivers can dance on the edges of the ocean's farthest glance and enhance the gloriously fine tune to which they swing and sway, to be able to sing and say the eloquent jubilance for which they must certainly find room. I sometimes feel like I'm in some kind of prohibitively confined room, diabolically fine-tuned to be subliminally inhibitive, as well as far behind the times of our prolifically designed doom. But I've been officially defined as being optimistically refined and opportunistically inclined to auspiciously rise and bloom. Thank you.
Auspiciously rise and blue. Like I told y'all what this dude does with language. It's ridiculous. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Kazi Kazi.
Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bravo, right on. New
Very
work.
talented.
New work.
Thanks for making it back here again. Particularly found the closing of that poem quite beautiful.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that so much.
You know what? As I mentioned before, what Kaz does with language is really ridiculous because of like he reminds me of an archaeologist of words, right? Like he could even be like Lantern Carrier's grad student, just like no, I know what you know, but I'm gonna dig into words even further. Like seriously, like the way that you two cats approach words are ridiculous. So yeah, make that happen. Yeah, make that happen. The way that y'all do that, you like it may be a 10-minute epic though, so we may have to get ready for that. We have to find a way. If those two cats ever get together, it may be a 10-minute epic piece. But Kaz, what you do is ridiculous, sir. Get drenched in the possible tomorrow, right? Never forget to remember my name. Like, I just feel like that's a classic rock song that maybe never got made or something. I don't know, but that's like, it's such a priceless line, man. It's such a Buzz Lightyear line. Like, you know what I mean? To infinity and beyond is what I mean by Buzz Lightyear. Like, it really, really is. Never forget to remember my name. I just dig that. Borrow some of tomorrow's borrowed time. Sick. History has lost its ever-loving mind. True. North headed south to meet up with East and West. That whole flip, That's insanity, sir. That's insanity. That's what they make straight jackets out of, is that type of insanity. Which is just sick. Pretty dope. Appreciate you, man. Really, really, for staying dedicated to what you're doing. Diabolically fine-tuned as your writing is. Appreciate you for continuing to share it with us. All right. Coming up next. Listen, you have heard, some of his commentary because he is a valued member of our community, and how he continues to not only contribute to our community, continuing to be as strong as it is, but continuing to help us build it, building new structures, and continuing to share his work at a very, very high level. Cat I like to call the Jedi Master, the one and only Paul Skiff in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. It is always great to see you. Please take it away.
Hey, hi, everybody. It's great to be here as always. What's going on, Elemental? I am on IG, just as Skiffgram. So Elemental RMT, do you think it'd be possible if I could share screen? Because I just want to do a video poem, if that's okay with you guys.
Okay, it's been enabled. Go ahead.
Thank you. Give me a second to get this up. All right, share sound. Stereo, optimize video. Okay. Hopefully it's okay. This is poems that are a video. You won't recognize it as a poem because it's not a poem like you've seen before, and that's because I invented this form of poetry. Anyway, it certainly will be a departure to somewhere else.
Causing light and shadow to fall throw forward, causing light and shadow to fall into space. Image falls. Undertaking in the mind, designed to throw forward, causing light and shadow to fall into space. Image falls onto surface. Undertaking, having made no will between persons, between, to take through the reception, receiving signals with reference to the undertaking, having made no will between persons, between, to take through the reception, receiving signals with reference to the quality of reception. Undertaking, primal and soothing, randomly arranged in delicious order, undergone of yourself to pass through that in particular to that extension. Undertaking, primal and soothing, randomly arranged in delicious order, undergone of yourself to pass through that in particular to that extension, remaining one. Undertaking, absolute to bear conduct, constant, a quantity that may assume a succession of values, the state of mind with which an act is done, performed by action. Undertaking, absolute to bear conduct, constant, quantity that may assume a succession of values, the state of mind with which an act is done, performed by action, fulfilling.
That's it.
Well, did we just witness a new groundbreaking? I think so. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Paul Skip.
Paul, you're one of my favorite people on the planet, man. Undergone. Come on. You know, when I first heard Paul, I always said, and I think I've said this way back, that what he does is he reads on the, like, if there's a screen on the back of your mind, that's where you listen when you take in his work. He reads past your eyes and your ears, and it is so unbelievable. And the way that you took that art and that skill of his whole body of work is almost defined in what I just experienced, because it's almost like a door on how to receive what he can do and does with words without going into poetry film, which there are poetry film festivals popping up all over the world. So that's a winner. And just love you, man. And it's just a brilliant, and the way you made it palatable, more so than you know, and you kept it even deeper in the arts. I don't know what to say except I loved it. I really loved it.
I liked how the tempo adjusted and increased through the piece. It's really amazing.
It was really amazing work.
I think that had to do with the style that he was mentioning that he created, right? First of all, I love our community. We are just a collection of innovators, right? But how he did that, right? And I love his approach to that style of starting off like, what are we doing here? What's happening, right? And then as the poem picked up speed, right, it made you even connect to it more. Oh, okay, now we're getting to a speed. Oh shit, it's gonna get faster. Oh shit, it's getting faster, right? So I love how you pulled your audience in instantly, right? With your visuals, right? Very minimalistic, but very still captivating, right? And then how you were using that reframe, right? Using that loop, if you will, to capture your audience's attention and then take it further, right? Anytime you can create visuals to coincide with your poems, I think it adds an element of connectivity for your audience that they will not forget. And then he just happens to be really dope with it, right? Causing light and shadow to fall into space, right? Undertaking, right? In the mind design to throw forward, randomly arranged in delicious order. Come on, man. Like, come on, man. What you do, sir, is pretty amazing, and I'm thankful that you're still focused on being on the cutting edge of what we do. That type of tenacity only breeds motivation. So please continue. Appreciate you. All right. Coming up next, literally from one part of the country to the other coast, this next incredible artist continues to come through with his amazing sound as he's grabbing his instrument and putting it on. I'm just like, listen, this is basically reminiscent to, and listen, tonight is the first night of American football. That is basically what we just saw, is basically reminiscent of a football player grabbing his helmet and putting it on to go into the game, is what we just saw Joski C. The one and only Joski C is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you, Joski. It is always great to see you, sir. Please take it away.
Hey, Elemental. Coming through?
Like a rock star as usual, sir. Take it away.
All right. So this is something I wrote a while back, and I keep pulling it out. It's called Shooter. And this is about the 14-year-old who murdered his classmates and teachers, but also about his parents and everyone who thinks it's okay for folks to have access to assault weapons. Shoot us in the sunshine, shoot us in the rain, shoot us for the color of our skin, shoot us at the station, shoot us on the train, and you try to defend it with the Second Amendment. Shoot us when we're young, shoot us when we're old, shoot us 'cause we got no hand to hold. Shoot us in the dark, shoot us in the cold, and you try to defend it with the Second Amendment. But I can't understand. There's blood upon this land, but love and hope won't die. So fuck you, shooter. Shoot us in the classroom, shoot us in the hall, shoot us 'cause you got no love at all. Shoot us at the Walmart, shoot us in the mall, and you try to defend it with the Second Amendment. But I can't understand. There's blood upon this land, but love and hope won't die. So fuck you, shooter. Shoot us in a church, mosque or synagogue. Shoot us when our gods say na na na. Shoot us in the sunshine, shoot us in the rain, shoot us for the color of our skin. But I can't understand. So fuck you, shooter.
Now, see, that is how you go and tell someone to bite a bullet beautifully. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Joski C.
Woo! Awesome. Amazing. Wow.
Joski, you're just
That's
amazing.
the way you do it.
Yeah, that was right
That's
on.
the way you do it.
And
Right
watching you flower as you get younger and younger every year is just amazing.
Oh, you noticed that.
It's like I did. You know, you just get richer and richer and more and more beautiful.
I think the radio stations don't want to play that one.
Yeah, I
They
like
should.
the litany of locations, that just highlights it's everywhere. It's just this epidemic in the national bloodstream. People don't remember Clinton had assault rifles banned, and then that ban expired. And who was it that let it go on? Was it little Bush? Yeah, not big Bush,
little baby
little
Georgie,
Bush. Yeah, so he let everybody go back and, bye.
It's all about money. It's all
money,
about the money.
and it made a divide and conquer issue out of the whole thing too. Yeah.
I mean, it kind of just reminds me of a boy band, right? They mentioned boy band lyrics, you mentioned the Bushes, and you know what I mean? It's just a bye. It's just a boy band. They turn the heat up all the way to 98 degrees, right? Get the terrorists in sync with each other, and then they bye. Joski, one thing I forgot to mention, as I usually do, is Joski always finds a way to put our week in balance with his music. And again, I love how you send a great big one of these to the government. With the way that you strum your guitar, sir, it's amazing, right? And they tried to defend it with Second Amendment, like it is how you rhyme, where you choose to rhyme is pretty sick too. Shooters, because you got no love at all. Interesting. It's really interesting the perspective that you choose to take in these types of songs. So thank you, Joski. Thank you always for staying connected to what's going on, for continuing to have your finger on the pulse and being fearless enough to write songs about it. And then being dope with it. Damn it, Joski. Appreciate you, man. For real. Shout out to Nee. For real. All right. So, see, a couple folks have jumped in. So we're going to make sure we get to them. All right. There are 3 folks left on the guaranteed list this evening and 4 on our good luck round. All right. Actually 4. My fault. 4 on the guaranteed list and 4 on our good luck round. All right. So coming up next, this cat has been rocking with us, and I believe he really does understand that he is a member of the greatest community in the world, because he continues to come through and is willing to rock with us and ready to rock with us. The one and only Zach Frater in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you, Zach. Great to have you back in the building. Please take it away.
Oh, hey, thank you so much. It's been an incredible night. I love all this. Hey, you'll never guess. I stayed up all night last night. There wasn't much moonlight. It was overcast here in New Mexico, but okay, I think I have something. Let's see. I'll try. I'm gonna try. Fuck. Okay. Time passed. When I look back, I already have regret. I am pendulum parent. Back and forth, swing set. How are you 2 and 4? My girls can barely remember that far back. What will you write? Photo album, Instagram. Tell me your earliest memory. Find it in yourself. Forgive dad. Like I forgive my dad. He tried. I know. Time passed. He never addressed mom's death. 20 years. Ashes, wood box, and mantle. Always say someday. Spread ashes. Kayak, Lost Lake. Reflection, water, Mount Hood. Call it our mountain. Girls, I'm here. Already regret. Time, it moves. Time, it passes. Time, it doesn't go backwards. My dad showed up, not even 2 weeks combined, 20 years later. Kicked out, didn't have high school diploma. Dad, I have a lot to say. Count the links, bike chain, bike races, missed. You probably live with regret. Last time saw you, kicked you out. Help promised, criticism delivered. Nature or nurture, always deny bad things, past traits. Talk about daughters, next room over. Speakerphone, I overheard. 2 peas in pod. All his worst behavior. Always be your adopted son. Forgive, forget. My own man. Years later, I know my daughters, sweet little girls, you will have words for me too. Little girls, I'm sure grandpa tried his best. My dad, I understand just like I try, but all I can do is live my life. Time moves fast. Time wants to rewind. Time step into void. Future collective unknown.
Yeah, I say a lot about, happy, fun themes, but when it comes down to it, that's the work. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Zach Frater.
All right. Nice.
Thank you,
All right,
Zach.
Zach, thank you.
Thank you, Zach.
Listen, first of all, man, I love the tone. I love the mood. I love the setting. When you get down to rip, right? Whatever color light that you have casting, that just sets the whole tone for your piece. And then I love the realism in your work, right? And I felt that. I felt one of those first lines, man. I felt that, like he said, "I am pendulum parent." Like for the folks who know, I absolutely felt that one heavyweight, man. I am pendulum parent. I felt that. Tell me your earliest memories. Forgive your dad like I did mine. Time, it doesn't go backwards. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Criticism delivered. 2 peas in a pod. Man, you can't tell peas that they're in a pod. They all believe you. All I can do is live my life. Yeah, that's just what we do. Thank you, Zach, for doing what you do, hanging out with us, and sharing that work with us, man. Truly. All right. Let me shout out a couple more folks real quick. Shout out Bill Elkins. Shout out Escape Artist. Shout out Alex in the building. Truly appreciate y'all for coming through. Iris in the building. Also, Terry Rose Jurtson is here. I saw Derek jump in the building, and Kendra is here. Let's keep it going. Coming up next, this incredible artist and author of Emotional Defibrillator continues to come through. He's gonna be a dad very soon, right? Like I need details, man. Like, when is the baby coming? Like, you got a name picked out, all those great things. Listen, this incredible poet has a way with words. Let's listen. He's doing his dad thing, right? But this cat's pretty damn incredible with words. If you're not familiar with this dude, he just plugged his information into the chat. Make sure you plug in with the one and only Daniel Fernandez in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. It is great to see you as always, man. Come on, take it away.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Glad for being here. Post my link tree in the chat. That should have my Instagram, Reddit, Facebook, and all. For my daughter, she's actually born. She was born on the 24th of last month. So she's about, roughly a week and a half, 2 weeks old. And her name is Melody, which I have a poem for, but I'll read that one and next time I come by. For today, I have a poem that was more of a tribute to a friend who passed away recently. That's just a new poem that I've written earlier in the week. Last week. Anyways, this poem is called I Wish We Had More Time. I am speechless due to the agony that your death brings. It affected me in many ways, including the way that I think. I somewhat feel responsible because all I did was blink. I found out weeks afterward, and since then, there is this never ending sting, a heart bigger than a mountain, and everyone who was around noticed. You motivate and encourage even at your lowest. You can somehow borrow time to listen and focus. Ask everyone at Nuyo. We consider you a legendary poet. The way you play with words and the delivery feels like a bonus. How do you value every minute and cherish the moments? I've tried myself, but can't. Maybe it's by how you approach it. Our conversations will be remembered. I just hope that you know this. I had a blast writing our collaborations, hallucinating on ideas despite the implications. I was so obsessed with writing that I was risking my occupation, penning reality that can one day surprise the nation. I gave up on poetry because I wasn't able to provide. My daughter was being born soon, and I had to decide. If I can't find alternatives, I wouldn't be able to reside. Mentally, I was deranged, so my body had to comply. I was in a dark place since December, shutting down my priorities. We spoke not long afterward, and financially we had our similarities. I had to be cautious because sadly I was a liability. I pushed away poetry, and little did I know that was therapy. I dodged social media and went radio silent. Instagram became digital Playboy and it felt like advertising. Meme pages were repetitive and the good ones were private. Just me and my thoughts, like solitary confinement. I came close to throwing the towel on existence. In January, I had to deconstruct myself and the demons were persistent. Months drifted by and all I did was keep my distance. I changed my habits and quit poetry for instincts. I should have been there during your final days, supporting any way possible. I wasn't informed, plus with my silence, it wouldn't seem ethical. You could have sent a text and I would have rearranged my whole schedule. Regardless of what went down, I would have been there in general. I'm sorry I didn't check in. That goes beyond being unprofessional. How can I call myself a good friend if what I did wasn't acceptable? I tuned out the world like the effects of something medical. I wanted to surprise you at this year's poetry festival. I wish we had more time. I can't emphasize that enough. I respect all that you have done because I know that life was rough. I valued our moments, even if it's to touch base and discuss. Life pushed me from poetry and then everything started to combust. I watched the flames burn my passion and didn't think about the dust. I'm responsible for my absence. I just hope that it didn't break our trust. I miss you, Gustav. You were an idol to me. I would run my poems by you before I had the courage to proceed. You would do the same, and we did that religiously, ingenuity and artistry. But now all I'm left with is grief. Several years back, when Nuyo gave me the faith to believe, hearing your feedback after a performance became a necessity. Writing eased my depression, but it's evident not completely. Puts one in a trance, especially when smoking weed. Life throws at what it can so that you're drowning in obscurity. I wish we ate mushrooms and tripped for a bit, ponder on anything like a curious kid, or dropping acid and accepting the way of the world. It was on my bucket list until what happened emerged. My last text with you was in February, and I feel like shit. We spoke about me attending Chaos Magic. That was many months ago after my priorities were flipped. I saved your link but knew I would take a few months to attend it. Sadly, I never did, so that chance has been dismissed. I focused on a paycheck, so I wasn't prepared for all of this. This is a poem that I never wanted to create. I'm not a bodybuilder, so I can't handle all of this weight. Like Brinston Maroney, I'm freaking out on the interstate. I try to be patient so that morning takes shape. There is no dodging death. Sometimes you're just face to face. Instead of enjoying a moment, my dumbass chose to wait. If only I had admired time, then things would have been great. It probably wouldn't change things, but my brain considers it a mistake. My point is valid despite having too much on my plate. I wish we had more time, but dejectedly, I'm too late. Thank you.
Never too late, though. Never too late. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Daniel Fernandez.
Bravo, Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
Bravo. He loved it. He loved it.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's beautiful. Ode.
So
And congrats on the new life form. You.
Yeah,
Hey,
congratulations.
Daniel, thanks for that. 'Cause somehow it makes me feel Gustav's departure is a little more complete. And hearing that come from you, because I know you were, close with him through poetry. And two things about it, you talked about losing your balance, but you see, you as a poet, you have this innate sense of how to get the balance back in your life. You know how to do brinksmanship, right? You jump from one ledge to the other, and it's not so hard, and it's an innate talent with what you do. So thanks for that. That was a really beautiful tribute. I'm grateful to have heard you speak that.
And remind us all how much he loved us all too, how much he lifted us all. Not, there's a lot of times where, he held up the book for all that he did for everyone here. So, but I'm glad you had some real time with him, and it was beautiful. And he's still here. He's still here.
The other thing is, you talked about you quit poetry, but you see, poetry wouldn't quit on you.
Right. That's right. There you go.
Yes.
So many of us feel that way, Daniel.
Breathtaking. Breathtaking.
But,
Absolutely breathtaking.
You got to let it go, though. I mean,
appreciate it.
Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. There were forces at work here that were bigger
Courage to change
than any of
things
us.
I can and
than any of us could have really changed. For sending the love, and I'm sure he still feels that.
As long as we continue to do what we do and pay homage and tribute to the impact that Gustav made on our lives, he will continue to live on in our community, because he was a major member and contributor to our community. And so we are going to make sure that we keep his memory alive in what we do, right? This is why we've done what we've done, is for things just like this, right? He was a bona fide member of our community. So one thing I want to say to you, Daniel, is it's never too late for that, right? You've got to collaborate with him, right? In the montage that Joski and I put together, like, you have a picture with him. So that means you got a chance to spend time with him, hearing him and feeling him and understanding his space and his creativity, right? And so being able to write this, right, is cathartic for all of us. So I'm thankful that you took the time out of your crazy, busy new dad schedule to write this and tell us how much of an impact that he had on your life and your writing. It means the most to us. And we're thankful that you shared it with us. Truly, man. Like, how can I call myself a good friend? It's because you kept his memory alive by doing this, right? I run my poems by you before I was willing to proceed, right? Hearing your feedback after my performance became a necessity. Listen, man, I thank you so much for that, Daniel. We continue to miss our friend, our colleague, and we're going to keep his memories alive with things like that. Thank you. You mentioned hearing him after, right? It was about energy, right? I used to be that energy person before I became the host. And a cat who used to come through with a level of energy, though crazy early in the morning, is how I kind of learned to cultivate my energy and broadcast it to the world. And I continue to learn from this incredible artist, author of Light Shadow Life, author of Let's Unmesh Life, host of his own open mic, Let's Unmesh Life. This is an incredible farmer, father, husband. This dude his list is long, man. Incredible public performer, right? He's one of the only poets in the world I know that performed on a train, right? This is the one and only Unmesh Mohitgar in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you, Unmesh. It is always great to see you, sir. Please. Take it away.
Thank you, Elemental. Great to see you all. Here we go. The crowd was running after the shiny ball, flamboyant, garish, gaudy. It was bending the rules. Rules were dancing to its tunes. Crowd was cheering very loudly, like a dream coming true, like watching a toad getting married to a princess or fairies dancing naked after death. Rivers flowing towards the sea, with a death wish to lose its identity, surrendering to the vast ocean. The ball. The ball was all about promise. It promised all. Their castles are illusion, rarely they deliver. When burnt mercilessly in the fire of truth, the mirage evaporates to the nowhere land. The shiny ball took everything from the crowd: money, power, time, everything that everyone cared. It also took one more thing which nobody cared, but without it, our daily grind will remain incomplete. The shiny ball took their peace of mind. Losing peace was cheap. The mindless crowd did not mind. Mind that has lost its peace, ability to wind, unwind, rewind. Can it ever be kind? Everyone harping about more and more work. Is their goal peace of mind or profits in their coffers? If the goal is not peace of mind, then something is wrong. You are still after the shiny ball, French kissing your ego in the garb of achievement, wanting to control the shiny ball, display it in their trophy cabinet, just like their trophy wives. Supersonic rockets zooms past in the sky. I'm waiting at the airport. Modern amenities and are hyper connected. Modern amenities and hyper connected life are products following the shiny ball blindly, converting the promise to reality. Are they happy now? Will they ever be happy? A peace is peace of mind just a concept to accumulate, to accentuate that there will be no peace of mind? Peace is end. Struggle for peace is life. You and I running haywire to attain peace of mind, but far away on an isolated island, naked fisherman fishing in peace with himself. Are we both the same? Are we both the same? Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Like, I'm telling you, like he just does that. That dude is just energy. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Unmesh Mojica.
Unmesh. Yeah, Unmesh.
Umesh. I love
to
it,
see
man.
you.
You come, I've been to some of the readings and I don't go to enough of them because they're early in the morning on Saturday, but over in India, and there's a whole feeling like you stepped into another culture. And then when I listen to your work and the fact that I could feel, you're at poetry readings all around the world, and I could feel your influence in the way that it's you've merged all the love you've taken from here, and I've watched you grow with an international voice. That's really beautiful. It's really amazing. Where if we just stay like, in one place and we don't spread around to the world readings, we don't get that richness. I love the way you've made a sort of a universal gift out of your voice. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Unmesh is kind of the guy. Like if you really want an experience, an international experience, there's a few places, but Unmesh's Let's Unmesh Life is unique in the sense that his particular culture and the people of his culture and how they accept poetry, it's a very call and response interactive time and space, right? as I've been there, right? I was completely shocked the first time I went, right? And how everybody was in on it. And I'm like, damn it, how did I get the memo? How didn't I know that there was a call and response? But it was fantastic, right? Because it shows how much people are willing and they want to be connected to the artists and what they're doing and their creativity. So I appreciate that, Unmesh, for you bringing that part of your culture into your open mic. It really, really does make a difference. So if y'all can, make sure you plug in, right? It really is a great space. All right. So ending our guaranteed list this evening, this incredible son of a member of the Starship Enterprise continues to come through and rock with us. He continues to like throw me off. Like I'm waiting on this curveball, and here he comes with this slider on me. Like for real, every time I hear him, he comes with something different, and I look forward to it every time. The one and only Garland Thompson in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. It is always great to see you, sir. Please take it away.
Thank you, Elemental. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. It's been an incredible night. Thank you to all the poets who've gone before me. You all have been amazing. Thank you for putting it out there. I guess in keeping with the theme, a trip to another time and perhaps a little bit of a salve for us in our current time. It's called They Said He Forgot and Called Him Dizzy. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep. My name is Dizzy Gillespie. I want to play my jazz just for you. My name is Dizzy Gillespie. Let me play my jazz for you. My name is Dizzy Gillespie. I made bebop in the 40s. My name is Dizzy Gillespie. Let me play my jazz for you. Let me play my horn for you. Let me play my jazz for you. Man, can you hear that horn swing? Unblock your ears, round out your edges. Let the man with the rubber cheeks talk to you. I'll never go back to Georgia. I'll never go back to Georgia. Cubano B, Cubano Bob. Hey, you want to do a little freedom jazz dance? Just you and me discussing flatted fifths and whether or not Charlie Parker was really hooked on smack, or was it just his life that killed him? My name is Dizzy Gillespie. I want to play my horn just for you. I can hear that crazy bebop beat. Is that Max Roach on traps, flying in high, sliding in low, bringing with him Afro-Cubano rhythms that hark back to Africa? Yes, Mama Africa. Continent of crazy colored people living in jungles hot and steamy, filled with lions and leopards, hippos and elephants, wild animals and wild people living on the banks of the Nile and the plains of the Kalahari. Is that where we come from? The banks of the Nile? Or is it perhaps the banks of 52nd Street, late 1940s after the war, a time far removed from today when everybody had money? Because we were Americans, and we had won! Come in like the cavalry and saved Europe's butt from the Axis that was spinning out of control, kicked heavy ass with patriots of all colors, and come home heroes. Long live truth, justice, and the American way. Were we in a mood to party? And there stood Dizzy, smile as wide as the Mississippi River is long, beret cocked cool to one side, eyes bright, goatee sharp, changing the face of jazz as we knew it. Jungle music, some called it. Bebop will never last, wrote the critics. Heathen sinners who don't care about our society, the righteous shouted. But they were just scared. As everywhere Dizzy went, people started listening to him more and more, opening up their hearts to something real for a change. I mean, brothers and sisters, this wasn't just music. Can I get an amen? This was one heart singing out, and then another, and another, and another, and another, and another, and another, and another, until a whole generation was in the choir, and the world responded like it never had before. In those brief moments, well, it must have seemed as if peace was finally at hand. For the angels, they were singing, and the light was shining on us all. My name is Dizzy Gillespie. I want to play my jazz, my heart, my life for you. Thank you, everyone.
You better play that crazy jazz, you crazy damn poet, you. Unmute yourself, give it up for Garland Thompson.
Oh, that was
Dude,
amazing.
yeah.
Whoa. That was incredible.
Thank you.
I just,
Thanks for that great performance. That was super. Somehow I kept hearing Miguel. You know, if you had done that back in the day in the cafe, he would have got up and done backup for you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he ever heard me do that. I think he might have, but yeah. Remember, he would have loved it. Yes, thank you, everyone.
wow. Something about that, sir. One of my all-time favorite poets. Someone that I like to project in my work. The great Amiri Baraka did the same thing with Equinox for Coltrane. And I love when people say they don't like jazz because it has no words. Because when you're listening, right, it comes off very, very poetic. So I love how you started your poem with that. And the switch that you have, sir, it's pretty incredible. Shout out to Storm Goddess, the one and only Ray Jane. The Thunderlung does that too, right? She has this incredible switch, right? That you come across very mild-mannered, very Clark Kent, and then you do the Superman thing. Let the man with the rubber cheeks talk to you, right? Discussing flattened fifths, right? I want to play my horn just for you, right? With these Afro-Cubano rhythms, right? He mentioned Africa. Is that where we come from? You know what I mean? Right? The banks of the... Like, come on with that, man. There's something so iconically jazz about the brushstroke of the drummer. Like, it's just something bebop will never last, right? These heathen sinner smackheads, it will never last. Same thing they said about hip hop. But to steal a Matrix line, I remember what matters most. We are still here. Appreciate you, Garland Thompson, truly, for hanging out with us and sharing some incredible work with us, truly. All right. Let's get to the good luck round, folks. We are 2.5 hours in. I'm gonna try to make room for the cipher at the end. Let's get it. Coming up next, I believe this is your first time rocking with us, right? And one of the things that I love the absolute most is to welcome new members into our community. So, Sophia, welcome to the greatest community in the world. Please, without giving us an exact address, tell us where in the world you are plugging in from this evening.
I am in Georgia.
Shout out Georgia. Oh, Georgia. Listen, Fo, in the building, 770-44. Listen, definitely you have now pulled up on the place to be. You have seen how you've been rocking with us this evening. You see how it's been going. Let these folks know where they can find you. All right. Again, welcome to the greatest community in the world. Have no idea what you're going to share, but we're here for it. Take it away.
You can find me on Instagram, Creatively Insane, but I'm not stupid is my Instagram. So if you type in Creatively Insane, but I'm not stupid, will show up. All right. I'm gonna do a piece called Material Girl. I live in a world filled with material things. No, I don't mean diamond rings and platinum chains. I mean my brain creatively insane, but I'm not stupid. Let's do this. I got material for days. It's not a phase and I'm not crazy. My thoughts, they play me like a fiddle. I go numb from the drums inside my head. Wait, who can relate to late nights when your dreams write and recite symphonies? I had an epiphany. Is that what King meant when he spit, I had a dream? The sun will come out tomorrow never came. Yesterday it phased 1,000 different ways to say goodbye, but in only one language do we all cry, do we all die unspoken, heartbroken, that choking feeling in your chest was never meant to be processed. Let it burn. U.S.H.E. Are you listening to me? Did you hear when I said my head ain't 100%? She on 130 stay trying to hurt me with all this material. From the box of cereal, Cocoa Puffs, never enough chocolate bars, to the song in the car on heavy rotation. I'm stationed on the front line, so I rhyme like I'm running out of time, like I'm on a clock. I always feel like somebody's watching me, but they're not. I don't stop the process. I sit back and watch it unfold, choke hold, my thoughts control my flow, the vibrations of medication chill me out. Hear me out, hear me shout. It's coming out anyway, just at a more steady pace. Nice and easy, believe me, my thoughts, they're still greedy. They still feed me material, an arsenal, no matter how slow or fast I go. Never in the mental, hardly mid-tempo. The places we go are so exhausting, costing me too much of my time. This beautiful mind, these beautiful lines are worth every second, every minute, every hour, until my power is extinguished and I can no longer distinguish dark from light. I will write. Peace.
And that's how you show up and show the fuck out, like for real. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Sophia Monday.
Bravo, Sophia. Bravo. Bravo.
Wonderful.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Phenomenal. Mind blowing. That flow and that rhythm and that cadence. Oh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, super. I second that. Kazi really hit it. For me, you have this really great flow going there, and with these crescendos and denouements, and it's this great pace that makes people try to keep up with you. But what really got to me was this really smooth undercurrent of urgency in your voice. So it kind of reminds me of the poet Sapphire. You might want to look her up and read some of her work. Kind of similar, but hey, what took you so long to find this place?
Yeah, you are most welcome. I love the music, the way you sang it, the way the notes changed. There was jazz there. There was a beat feel.
Musical.
I just came off a beat weekend a little while back, and you would have been a blessing there too. But definitely here. I think you have a home, and you're about to get the "you fucked up" line. Let's hear it.
I don't even have to deliver it at this point. You know what I mean? Listen, you have though. Just reiterate what CC said. Yes, you did just fuck up. Because you actually found a place where your lyricism and your word work works. It's here. We hear you. We feel you, right? And your colleagues just told you how much they feel your work, right? Your work is so soaked in hip hop, right? And it's so soaked in Atlanta, right? Like just some of your you know what I mean? Go ahead and let it burn, right? From the USHER, right? It's 7 o'clock on the dot. And guess what? From now on, you're gonna be in this spot, right? Right. This like come on, yeah. Not stupid. My thoughts, they played me like a fiddle. Come on. Yesterday fades, 1,000 ways to say goodbye, right? Always feel like somebody's watching me. Come on, man, with that. Come on, man. Like chokehold on my thoughts, control my flow, right? Coming out anyway. My thoughts are still greedy, right? Never in the mental, hardly mid-tempo. These beautiful lines are worth every minute. Like, yeah. Like, I know, right? Being in Georgia, you're soaked in a world of lyrics, a world of lyricists, a world of lyricism. You have found a place that your poetry is actually heard. So make sure you find your way here every week. You are now a member of the greatest community in the world. Don't believe me? Make sure you plug your information back in the chat and see how many new followers you get this evening. Trust. Appreciate you for coming through and welcome. Coming up next, this incredible artist, author of Sometimes Here, continues to come through. I like to call her a resident superhero. She makes room for so many different artists in so many different spaces, from poetry games to movie nights to interviews. Listen, that's kind of, a pathway to my start was right here on her platform, and I'm telling you, she's still making waves for poets and artists. The one and only Finn Bell is in the building, who I like to call the daughter of Krypton. Let these folks know where they can find you. It is always great to see you. Please take it away.
Good to see you too. Good evening, poet family. You can find me on Instagram. I am Finn_Bell. And I wanted to share an older poem from, well, I guess you could say the second year that we were in session here at the Nuyo. This is titled We Linger Still. It's a longer piece, so I'm going to time myself. 3 minutes. I rapped on the ceiling only twice, tiptoeing on my high perch, my egret slender limbs trembling, a high wire act, equal parts exhilaration and fear of being discovered. I rapped on the ceiling once more, slowed my heart, slowed my breathing, listened, waited. It was all I could do to suspend the lunacy looming mere inches over me, a storm cloud riling the ornate figures that in turn watched me, enraged, clown-faced shapes changing their mood in the waver of the candlelight, ready to condemn my slight movement as I hugged the wall. I waited, steady patience herself, because I knew that he had heard me, the boy. I stood stock still, held my breath until he emitted his reply, the usual sigh, the room responding in unison with him, becoming warmer in the way of first days of summer, whenever he was present. Inside the space, he was almost always present, rarely moving from the safety of the nook he made for himself when he first took up residence. But sometimes, when the moon tilts in the sky at the correct angle, he likes to squeeze through the growing tear that had formed between the thinness of the plaster. Here he made his way into the cove where one could spy upon the ballroom and all its lascivious players. I would crawl in obediently after him, and we would stare in rapturous quiet at this, our own living zoetrope, marvel in the intimacies, contortions we create when bodies became puzzle games to solve in languor, when bodies were codex and fingers and tongues were keys. The hush of this old edifice was also our language, and we heeded it. Forgotten children, lost children, we needed tending. This the manor knew. I was ever in awe, following this beautiful mute waif through endless mazes of corridors, feeling secure, knowing instinctively that his skin felt what the house was whispering to him. As he touched its walls in passing, hearing how it would tell him to commune with the shadows and shapes. And he would lean his head, just so, cock his ear alongside the tapestry where it was shabby, where the drapes were redolent with ancient scent that secrets leave. And that's it. My time. Thank you. To be continued.
I was so deliciously anticipating the rest of this poem is. Gosh, unmute yourself. Give it up for Finn Bell.
Finn Bell, yay!
I was so
Thank you, Finn Bell.
Mm.
And all you do, and all you do.
Girl, you are so dope. I love you. You just stopped at your 3-minute marker. I mean,
No, you kept going.
what a mama.
Yeah, don't be so modest.
It's too kind.
Say, dang.
I think maybe it's a message to all of us.
When your 3 minutes is up, put a timer on yourself.
Right.
Oh, but girl, I was rocking with it every step, and then we get to hear the rest next week. I mean, amazing. Sweet.
Yeah, as always, your sensuality is so overwhelming, you know, in a very luxurious way. I feel self-indulgent when I'm listening to you.
Right? That quiet delivery of gorgeous decadence. I mean, Jesus.
About to go there. She stole it from me. I love how artists are such beautiful thieves, right? Did you just say, like, for real, I really was. I was going to say, damn it, Skip, did you just say her words were so decadent that you were just biting pieces of it and savoring the flavor with, like for real? Like, I really, really love that, that it really went there. I don't know if it was I don't know. Equal parts exhilaration, like enraged clown-shaped moods, like becoming warmer in the waves of the first days of summer, when the moon tilts in the sky at the perfect angle. Like, there's so many textures to your work. That's what I love about what you do and how you do it. And your voice has its own texture that just adds to the way that your poetry comes together. The rapturous quiet abyss, tell them to commune with the shadows and the shapes, like the way that you deliver your poems, the way that you write your poems, it really just, but you know this, it really just has a soothing qualities, right? Listen, if you don't know about this poet, if you don't know about Fincabulary, if you're not familiar, they just mentioned that they're going to be celebrating 4 years of Fincabulary. 4 years of Fincabulary. It is such an inviting space. If you're unaware, make sure you're connecting with Finn Bell. She will definitely plug you to some amazing spaces with some amazing poets around the world. Shout out PGN. Shout out Vector. Shout out Grasshopper. Shout out the babies. Right? I know y'all don't see the babies, right? She's done a great job. Y'all don't hear the babies as much. But it was like every other time the babies would come, just, hey, what's going on? But you know, great. Great to hear you, Finn. Always. All right. Let's keep it going, folks. We have got 3 more folks on this good luck round. Coming up next, you had just heard her commentary. She's been rocking with us this evening. this incredible mom continues to show us how moms can, people may think that moms have like 8 or 9 arms, but they only have 2, right? They only have 2, but they do incredible things with those 2. And here's another example. The one and only Elizabeth Horan is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. It is always great to see you. Please take it away.
Thank you very much. Again, following Finn Bell, my dream come true. Love it, Sister Goddess. I'm an Horan poet across the board. So it's been a real fuck of a week and a real fuck of a day, and I couldn't decide what to read at all. And I'm just gonna go with this one. Well, I think I'll do this one and one more, if that's all right. Thank you all for everything you give to each other. And, it's an amazing place to be. It really is. And I thank you all for letting me be here. This is called Wellbutrin in my brain. There's Wellbutrin in my brain, and I'd like to get it out. It has stayed far too long, the formidable clout of its club-fisted edges that pried out my eyes and deftly snipped stitches from my brain. In dreams, my teeth have mostly fallen out. And I wonder, I whisper aloud too loudly, where I was, what I did yesterday in a cloud. Where's my phone or my wallet, my mind, my disguise? Who took them? Was it you or that stealthy NDRI eating all my gray matter with tea like Mad Hatter? I'm fat and puffy, yet endlessly hungry, my hair in my hands and my back to the wall of a cliff, then falling into a dolly sea, rife and roiling with lunatics like me. All I did was try, but life at times proves hard. With little sleep, little babies, little men, or maybe a leprechaun did it to me. While megalomaniacs with their perky careers nod their heads, dot their I's, then turn a deaf ear. I am dying in here. I can't seem to get out from the weight of the pain and horrendous gout. Like the snout of a ghastly Frisco seal, I'm snorting smoke signals in a hopeless appeal. Could I make this up? God saw me not, nor heard me screaming. I forgot how to go on, and go on I must. For there's nothing in the skies you see, at least nothing that's just. No angels, no demons, no circles with Dante, no pearly white gates, nor red horns on Satan, not even your naughty minotaur with its head of you, man, and the flesh of my breast, no matter how much you want there to be. Only worms and dirt, coffins and me, our own little babies and the endless sea. I rose adrift on a raft of twigs, a sinking hull with whip-stitch lashings, a remnant of what I learned while falling. No sail, no compass, nets endlessly trawling. In a storm for the ages, I've washed up on shore, battered and broken, yet drowning no more, begging for water, fresh, not salt-laden. I've enough in my well of the tears now abated. So what will become of my huge frontal lobe, of my life, of my heart, both woefully splayed, spread eagle on rocks, seagulls ripping away the entrails and innards of my body's own pockets? They pick clean the memories of you, sad man, and me. Remember us once in our glassy-eyed stares, glowering back from the page. Now no one's there. I alighted the rooftop, couldn't leave, couldn't jump, so I held on and prayed. I had nipples to pump. Cough me up, spit me out, I leave in my wake, deep oceans of grief, waves cresting with guilt. The painful divide of perceived demise. I'm alive, and I know there's no place to go back to. Our pain is only as deep as we practice. Thank you. I think I'll just end with that.
And that bomb drop. Oh my goodness. Our pain is only as deep as we practice. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Elizabeth Horrid.
It was amazing. So
Elizabeth.
powerful.
Oh,
So
bravo,
powerful.
Elizabeth. Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. Bravo.
I cannot express the depth of how much I love you.
Hope your day is better now.
I love the way you let all the vulnerable and the pain out, but you also came up with the beautiful heal somewhere in there. That's good work.
Yeah, I was struck you about the first third. You were setting up this very real, sort of realistic description, and then you took this turn, and this poem just, exploded into this kind of vulnerability of almost like you're confessing to yourself in a way, and that really intrigued me about the poem.
Yeah, that's a great way to say it. It was a turn that suddenly I felt like really drawn in, and I just had to really listen carefully. It was beautiful.
And I thank you so very much for that, Elizabeth, for staying dedicated and listen, rocking with us throughout the evening. I'm familiar with the basis of your poem. I'm familiar. And it's interesting, right? To get someone else's perspective. Pried out my brain, right? My back to the wall of a cliff, right? All I did was try. Maybe a leprechaun did it to me, right? I am dying in here, snorting smoke signals. Beyond the fact that it's an alliteration, like, come on. God saw me not, nor heard me screaming, right? In a storm for the ages, I washed up on the shore. And then, of course, like I said, like that line, our pain is only as deep as we practice. I mean, makes sense though, right? To master anything, you got to put in 10,000 hours. Damn. Never thought about it. Never thought about pain that way. But that's the work. So thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth, for taking the time and the fearlessness to write a poem like that. Truly appreciate you. All right, folks. 2 more poets, and we're gonna jump into the cipher for a few minutes, and then we're gonna get up out of here. Coming up next, this resident Renaissance man, if you will, continues to come through with the plethora of creative ideas that he has, from artist to pianist to poet to lyricist. This cat continues to amaze me with how he continues to stay focused and dedicated and passionate to making new artwork. The one and only CCR Chagra in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you, CC. Always great to see you, sir. Please take it away.
Well, thank you, and I can't stress how much I love this community, and I've all but stopped coming to open mics, but I continue to show up here on Thursdays because I have to. I had a major last 7 days of my life. I didn't realize how much it mattered, but Facebook completely shut me down, and there's no recourse, and it's been 7 days, and I got this notice saying you have 180 days to appeal. And they said they shut it down because somebody in my IG account, and it's not even my handle, and that's a bitch. So I went to the Beat Poetry thing again for the 4th year, I think it is now, and I continued I'm up to 20 conversations, and that project is now, the first 8 of them are uploaded. I just put that in there, so please go there. It's an amazing thing that started with the Word Show, which Paul knows about. So for those of you that knew about it, almost over a year ago, I created a podcast idea, and never posted it. Well, I just put the first episode up because I'm trying to get over the being pissed off. And this is about that. This is about the free form conversations I'm having with poets from around the world at the National International Beat Poetry Festival. Just sitting in a room, turn on the camera. Besides being fun, these conversations aim to anchor creativity and benevolence and the transcendence of dichotomies and malevolent realities. No two episodes are alike. They are unscripted. They are free-form conversations between creative minds exploring the contextual responsibility that infuses and inspires the artist and the creative nature within us all. Here in this series, free and open dialogues thread the warp and weft that form the tapestries of a creative life as both the individual and collective artists move life onto the canvas of the creative leavings we die through. You are here to experience what rests and simmers from the shared roots of thoughts, feelings, and insights as every artist and free and critical thinker's life lives to form works of art that may resonate and inspire you as observers. I hope you glean how creativity requires the risk of imagination and the cooperation born of sharing creative thoughts in all directions at once, birthing no conflict or perpetual dogmas of knowing or controlled thoughts that manufacture the ends of all universal potentials. The questioning and evoking passions that arrive out of the subterranean process to become works surfacing from the depth of free perception, observation, practice, and the navigation of endless failures that never stop teaching us to experience the outer reaches of life, meaning, and behaviors beyond the survival of our fears. Here, there may be hard-edged and controversial topics and subject matters, the tangents and topical twists and turns that may be wild and unbridled. Warning, these conversations may contain adult language and the dialogues may address all perspectives of joy, love, wonder, and play, as well as the heel of abuse, exploitation, and the criminal behaviors of individuals and authoritarian controlling bodies of suppression by social order constructs that abuse both privilege and power itself. Note, the language may be used as a conscious accidental comedy, humor, and or at times literally be poetic, but never to incite, encourage, or promote violence or crimes against individuals' innocence, society, or spiritual freedoms that harm no one in return. That's the little bitch about it. So press play. There's 8 of them. 20 were recorded, and let me know if you wanted. I've only done them live, and the word show is a whole nother animal that you just got to jump into. They're long. Some of these are an hour. The word show, the first episode was probably over an hour, and the second one was 2 parts, and that went on over 2.5 hours. So it's a podcasty kind of put the headphones on and do dishes and enjoy whatever, but do what you can to push that out there. And find me on IG. I may lose all 3,000, and I know like 2,000 people on Facebook. It's been a bitch. It's a real shutdown, and it's possible I may lose it and my 15 pages, which probably totals about 6,000 people. So that's fucking me up. But so what? You know, I wrote this the day before I found out. There is no moment that is not a teachable moment except the ones we refuse to learn from. So, kiss my own ass.
Wait a minute, are you putting in your application like to be the new Moses or some shit? Cause like listen, like you and your fucking with the stone tablets and shit. Unmute yourself, give it up for CC Chakra.
Yes, you do have to
Get
keep
out.
coming here.
Hell yeah.
F Facebook. That's right. We're gonna keep following you here on Thursdays, so you're not gonna lose us, okay?
Oh no! You know why you're not gonna lose us? Because as Daniel mentioned, and as Joski and I mentioned, right? This is one of the sites, right? Dare I say, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but dare I say this is ground zero of good trouble. Thanks to our good friend Gustav Salas. This is ground zero of good trouble. So when you bring that, what you said, like, yeah, damn it, this is where you're supposed to rile it up. This is where you're supposed to shake the dice. This is what we're here for. This is what this community was built for. Is to do just that. Right? If we can't do that here, then I think we've been screwed into or slept into a communist society that says it is illegal for you to speak your mind, citizen. I mean employee. I mean robot. I mean inmate. Right? Like we still live in a we still exist in a time of freedom of speech, right? I thank you so much for what you do, CC. The passion that you always deliver your work, whether you're playing, whether you're like, I'm not really sure. The Moses quip, man, that was just the way that you said that, the way you delivered that last piece. It was so matter of fact, like you got it from up on high. Like I was just giving this, you know what I mean? It was just, but it was so it represents a permanence of knowledge though. Right? Like it's you put your pants on one leg at a time type of thing. It's one of those things that you cannot deny. And that's what I appreciate about all of us as artists is the way you receive that message may have been very different, sir. But you had to translate that into a way that we could receive it. And that is the mastery of your skill. And I thank you for continuing to share that with us. We have one more incredible artist on our list this evening, and then we are going to jump into the cipher for a couple minutes, folks. But let me tell you something about this cat, brother. Coming to the mic next, this incredible artist will drop kick the hell out of you with one poem. He may clothesline you with a box of cereal, brother, but he always has his championship belts on deck, brother. Let me tell you, this incredible poet is about to do what? It doesn't matter what you thought he was going to do. He's about to take it to the next level. The one and only Dre Reyes in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. Oh, yeah, brother. Take it away. It's great to see you. Hold on, brother. 1 second, brother. We need to make sure we are getting every single ounce of all of this magnificence, because when the mega powers descend upon you, you need to get every ounce of it. Take it away, brother.
All right. It is great to be here. It's been a long day, but I'm just now unwinding. Had a 6-hour shift in a pharmacy, and I'm getting to hear some amazing artistry on display. And of course, this is a spot to do it every Thursday night. Just in case if y'all don't know, I do host a couple of shows. In fact, tomorrow night I'll be hosting Open Minds Open Mic, and our very own Elemen2al will be our spotlight feature. Yeah, we're talking about at least a half hour of Elemen2al greatness, and it's about to go down. Be there tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have an open mic lined up as well, so jump in on that. The following day, we will be lit by the fire of China Bloodmeyer at the Slam Jam. She will be our special guest coach, and it's going to be An awesome time. 3 poems set from her and feedback in a slam workshop. If you don't feel like you want to participate in a slam workshop, there's always an open mic, with that. Anyway, that's all going to be happening in the same Zoom room. Check us out at Open Minds Open Mic. Anyway, I'm going to get on with the poetry. I got one poem here. This is kind of inspired by the time I met Mick Foley. Really cool dude, really legendary wrestler, but also he's like a sweetheart as well. He's done Santa Claus gigs, like tons of them over the past like decade or so. It's like one of his favorite things to do. So it's like a mishmash of that. So this is called Meeting Santa Claus. 1. A child is moments away from realizing a fantasy, meeting Santa Claus, and getting that moment encapsulated infinitely in the form of a digital still image, a magical moment caught in time. Seconds away from being summoned to Santa, the kid's heart begins to beat so fast it's almost as if their heart was set on vibrate mode. Thoughts rushing like eager shoppers on Black Friday, for they have manifested this moment, this day, for way too long for it to not go perfect. The following 60 seconds will be their most starstruck seconds of their life. What felt like an hour was actually a flash in time as a photo is taken with Santa, followed by a hug and a boisterous "Merry Christmas, have a nice day." In a few seconds, the kid notices some rather fascinating physical features that weren't depicted in traditional lore: 4 missing teeth, a missing right ear, but still contained every ounce of Christmas warmth as imagined. As the kid walks away, the mall announces that it'll be closing in 5 minutes, cueing the crew to pick up. Santa limbers his way up from his throne and makes his way back to his vehicle as he takes a moment to himself before setting out for his next gig. 2. I am moments away from meeting a childhood hero of mine. Professional wrestling has always caught my eye as an artistic medium that depicts good versus evil, an amplified escape from the real world, a fantasy that most can't understand, but a spectacle that no one can deny. Whenever you see someone who is relatably unconventional, become such a success while still being wholesome, humble, and super chill, you can't help but feel like you can achieve anything you set your mind to. I wrestled semi-professionally for 12 years throughout New England. And probably the most important lesson I learned as a performer is not about wins or losses. It's the art of getting over. The ability to connect with the audience, the ability to have that lasting impression. When it comes to the art of getting over through self-sacrifice, Mick Foley was the Leonardo da Vinci of this physical art form. Seeing the man will himself to finish a match after falling off and through a 20-foot steel cage was the most badass thing 7-year-old me saw. The falls, the crashes, the commentary, freaking out, the pops from the crowd, but most of all, the hell-bent determination to fight through the pain. I've learned from Mick Foley how to fight and smile through whatever life throws at you. That's one of my biggest influences in wanting to wrestle. Meeting Mick Foley brought out the inner kid in me, as if I was a kid meeting Santa Claus. With a smile as warm as Christmas, he reached out and shook my hand, took a photo with me, and I personally thanked him for all his sacrifice and the memories. It was a dream come true, better than any gift under the tree. Poem. Thank you.
You just created a new texture for me, man. Like, and you know, shout out Mick Foley, but that was an interesting one, man. For real. Unmute yourself, give it up for Dre Reyes.
Dre, beautiful.
All
Beautiful
right,
story.
Dre.
Beautiful story. Thank you.
So many great images, you know, the one-eared Santa and Nick Foley falling through the cage, you know,
Was
and the
Santa
whole
his
thing
wrestling?
amounting to this life lesson. That was really rather beautiful and poignant.
Was that his wrestling thing? He was Santa Claus, a wrestler?
Never.
No,
I don't know. I not my genre. All I know is Elemental did the Joker and killed it. I saw that.
You saw that?
Theater, man. That's what I was thinking. It's another theater.
Yeah, Big Foley was a beast though. Like, and I really love that, Dre, how you said his smile was as warm as Christmas. Like, I've never heard anyone consider Christmas warm. And for you to wrap that in a mankind of like a Cactus Jack and make him Santa Claus, like that's kind of crazy, sir. Like, that's kind of crazy. Missing ear and all. Like, bang, bang and all. I appreciate you for that, man. Like, for real. And all those for those who don't know, those are all Mick Foley quips. Like really all of that. All of that were just Mick Foley quips. Thank you, Dre Reyes, for hanging out with us, for bringing your experiences to us, for bringing Mick Foley to life in your work, for representing the wrestling community in your work and that level of dedication. It truly is appreciated. All right, folks, that is the last piece of poetry on the list this evening. Shout out to every single poet who touched the mic this evening, from our opener in the Goatberg to our closer, Dre Reyes. Thank you to every single artist who touched this mic this evening. Make sure you are plugging in with everything the Nuyorican Poets Cafe has going on. Plug into the website, nuyorican.org. Get yourself some merch and represent in your part of the world. Plug in with each and every member of this community. All right, we are about building community, and this just happens to be the greatest in the world. All right, nothing but love to RMT. My name is Elemental. It has been a great evening. Make sure for the folks in the building, hang out. We are going to get into the cipher this evening. For the folks on the streams, we completely and totally thank you for all the love that you have shown us and continue to share with us, continuing to rock with us. We truly appreciate you. We're going to end the night like this until we meet again. May this energy we conjure this evening supercharge the rest of your week. Take this power, inspire others, energize creativity as we all hope to do through the spirit of Miguel Agarin. Your voice is appreciated, necessary, and always valuable in this space. Thank you for sharing it with us. On behalf of the greatest community in the world, and also, real quick, shout out James Madison University and the professor that brought the students in this week. Appreciate you. It has truly been a pleasure spending Thursday night with y'all. Until next week, peace and blessings.